the radio today. And I want to say welcome for those of you just joining us. Today is the very first time of you joining the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia. We want to use this time to say thank you and welcome to the show. Uh, okay, so my name is Sekou Sharif. I'm here along with Emmanuel Davids. And together tonight, we're going to drive you up to 9 o'clock usual time. And I want to say thank you to Emmanuel for continuously, upholding the program in my absence while I continue to run after some other issues, by the way. So we want to say thank you to Emmanuel. He's been doing extremely well. Emmanuel, good evening.
Good evening, Sekou, and to all of our listeners. Yes, we've been here. Just that, I don't know, it's a little strange. The cold wants to disturb me a little. Excuse me for that. Cold wants to disturb me, but howbeit, we are here today. We managed to be here, so we will talk Liberia as usual until later. So as we go on with the program, remember usually at 6:30 we go across the borders of Liberia. Our international desk gives the privilege or the opportunity to our people, our correspondents outside of Liberia, to fill us in. And we have them already on the standby. As soon as we reach that time, 6:30, we will start to speak with our correspondents at 7 o'clock. Sekou, we will talk about Mr. Ali Kobasi. Remember, we staged a peaceful protest, peaceful march, and then our petitions were well received by the folks there at the Liberia National Police and, of course, the legislature. We were called, but we did not get the call in time, so our matter was not placed on the agenda on today for deliberation as usual. So hopefully we've been told that on Thursday, our issue will be on the agenda of the lower house for discussion. And let's inform you that we received official communication from Mr. Ali Kobasi, apologizing to us formally. We will talk about that. That will be on the flip side of 6 o'clock. So we will read the content of the letter. What do we have to say? Have we officially responded? You will know that, and we will speak with our lawyer on the line. So after that, we will delve into other things. There are other trending national issues in the country. Yesterday, you followed the program. How did it go?
Oh, yes. It was a very great and splendid presentation on, like I said, Emmanuel, you've continued to do your best. And I have no doubt whenever I leave you on the show, I know you can do your best. I've known you for a couple of years. I know what you can do. So leaving the radio, I have no second thought about, maybe something will not.
I know yesterday I hosted our landlord.
Yeah, man. Anyway,
Anyway.
People say landlord. Anyway, we don't want to go into that. But I think he's a friend to the. I don't want us to go into that, but
It's okay. We can leave
that
it.
is something that necessary.
Leave it at it as it is. You've been following some local developments. What do you capture so far
I
from
think the issue about the education issue where you have, word of word coming from the minister and some other folks. It is getting interesting, and I think we need to say thank you to Martin Colley, maybe for playing his own role. But now most of the things we do, I saw on social media the road leading to Lofa County, some part of Lofa. I want to say I think the government has done well in terms of that. You know how the people in that part of the country, they used to suffer to leave from one point to another. Mind you, next month we're going to be in Lofa. Emmanuel, you will be there. We will be there. Hope that the vehicles we have will take us there. We're going to be part of the official opening of one of our sisters' radio stations in Lofa County. The man, James Kwabo. He's a young president like us, so we support him. But, Emmanuel, like you said, I want to, is it not, folks, at times when you have some investigations, it takes you to a point where you take the entire day of your activities. Mind you, what we do as investigative journalists, it is difficult in everything that people would do on the radio. Because the little mistake you make, they will want to use it against you. Example of what we've been going through along with Ali Kobasi, the owner of BMC. Now we're going to speak with authority. If we were not to do due diligence in our investigation, by now they could have dragged us to court to say that, oh, we wanted to extort money, because that's the big thing they usually say. And when journalists try to get their side, when they go and steal, when they do what is wrong, when you try to ask them and they try to make it to look like you want to extort money from them, even though what they've done, it is against the interests of the country. So we will explain to you in detail of happenings. We want to say thank you to the PUL. They did what they could do. They reached their own limit. We want to say thank you to all of our international partners. We want to say thank you to Hard FM in Monroeville, particularly Obed Sebastian Jiba, Patrick Eastman. We want to say thank you to Prime FM, Kelvin Demi, and the likes of the folks at Prime FM. We want to say thank you to the two media institutions, radio stations, that afforded us the opportunity to allow our story or our voices to be heard when we needed our colleagues the most. We want to say thank you to all the newspapers that carried stories about us. We want to say thank you to Hard Pepper. We want to say thank you to Nida Newspaper. We want to say thank you to In Profile Daily. We want to say thank you to New Newspaper. We want to say thank you to all the newspapers. If even we don't mention your name, but you carry our stories, we want to say thank you to you for standing by us. And I want to say you did not just stand by us because you wanted to do. It is because you trust in what we do, that we will not come and say things that we don't have facts about. And so, at 7 o'clock tonight, fellow Liberians, it is about time for you to get close to your radio and listen to us. We will join our lawyer, one of our lawyers, and he will give Liberians the reason why we are about to take the decision we are about to take. And I want to admit this on the radio today. We want to sincerely apologize to the legislators because they promised that they were going to place our issue on the floor today. Unfortunately, while we were having conversation at the Press Union of Liberia, we missed a call from one of the lawmakers. So we are under obligation to tell the truth to the Liberian people. Before they say, oh, but the lawmakers then say they will invite you, they ain't invite you, you know. The lawmakers then will not do this, they like this. No. The lawmakers, one of the lawmakers, they called us to let us know that they were placing the issue on the floor to make ourselves available. But by that time, we were having the issue at the Press Union of Liberia. So we want to use this time on behalf of the staff and management of Voice of Liberia to extend our apology to the House of Representatives and to the committee responsible, and we are open for another invite. We are told that on Thursday of this week, our issue will be placed on the floor, and so we can go and speak to our direct representatives, and they will decide what next to do. This is a country of law. Ali Kobasi is not above the laws of our country. And he needs to know this. And this will not be business as usual, as he claimed. So at 7 o'clock, we just, giving you the top stuff of it. But we'll go into it. Like my colleague said, we've received through the President of Liberia a communication from Ali Kobasi, a written communication. And so that has confirmed his threat against us. First, like the lawyer said, at first, maybe Ali could argue that he did not do it, right? Because audio is not permissible in court. You could have said to the judges and say, oh, but they made a different audio in here and everything, right? Even though it is his own voice. But he could question that under the legal means. But luckily for us, because God knows that what we're doing it in the interest of the Liberian people. He himself uses letterhead of his business, uses official stamp, and he admitted that he threatened us. Like I was saying, we expected for now the president should have come up with a release. Up to now, we don't know why the president cannot come up with a release. But there are a lot of things we observed. We will not blame the press union, but we remain firm and stand by what we report and what we say. We will not succumb. And like we said, we want to say thank you to our international friends that have continued to provide us some suggestions as to how we need to proceed with this matter. Because to see this issue as very grave, it's not an issue where you just go read and say sorry or may apology letter. Our safety is what we're talking about in this case. What becomes of our safety? So we explain to you in detail. As I'm going to give Emmanuel a chance now, instead of us waiting for the right time now to join our international correspondents, so we can talk to them. After that, we're going to take most of the time to tell you about this because it's very important. It makes a lot of sense, and you will use this case and will use this means to also encourage our colleagues, our brothers and sisters, upcoming journalists that have got interest in investigation, that you not need to be intimidated. Don't succumb to what the pressures will be. And this man by the name of Johnny Babani that brought this entire thing, we will not stop talking about him. We will continue to talk about Johnny Babani. And like we say, his real name is Jitendra Babani. And we will tell you something. Now, Johnny Babani action has gone to the extent when we explain even the U.S. government, the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia is one of the victims. So we will go to the international desk and talk to our international correspondents. When we return, we'll give you the detailed story of how far we are. We'll speak to our lawyer and we'll give you our position statement about this entire thing.
So, Nigeria goes to election in few days.
Certainly.
On the 25th. Wow, we hope and pray that the little financial matter or crisis there, the little tensions that are building up in Nigeria will be settled before the general elections slated for the 25th of this month. And remember, today is the 21st, so roughly 4 days to go. Well, let's now cross over now to speak with our correspondents. To speak with our correspondents this evening on the program issues of today. And like we said from the from the beginning of the program, that's technology. We're trying to get him. From the beginning of the program, we want to thank people. At times, we have new listeners. We want to thank those people for joining us as always. You know, making time for us. We sincerely appreciate that. So we will now try to speak with our very first correspondent on this program tonight or this evening.
Tonight?
Before we can go to the next segment of the show. This is Voice of Liberia Issues of Today. Okay, I'm very sure we're getting we shortly we'll get him. But you know, Seku, yesterday during the evening hours when I was leaving work, you know, I saw at about 9 o'clock, as early as 9, I saw the streets practically empty. So I was wondering what's happening. Okay, let's now go now to speak with our correspondents. We will come right back there. Lesotho's King, His Majesty Tessie III, will host a high-level event on nutrition and food security in March this year. The king, who is also the head of state, is the African Union Nutrition Champion, and the event is part of the long-term vision set out in Agenda 2063. For more on this development, we now join our correspondent in Lesotho, Poloko Mokhili. Good evening. Poloko, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, Poloko, you can get me now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so as you have reported, Lesotho's King, His Majesty Let's See the Third, will host a high-level event on nutrition and food security in March this year. The king, who is also the head of state, is the African Union Nutrition Champion. Well, as you've joined us on the line to give us more details, tell us what are some of the issues expected to be addressed in this event or during this event.
As you remember, the African Union this past has and the African Union summit. Especially 6 Africa will be discussed at that summit. So a lot of discussions will be around nutrition in Africa.
Well, is this the first high-level event on food security and nutrition in Africa hosted by Lesotho?
No, this is not the first high-level summit that is being hosted in Lesotho. In 2019, the king, in his capacity as from 2016, then he was the FAO nutrition champion. He also hosted high delegates from different international organizations discussing nutrition and agriculture.
Wow, bad connection there. But if you're still listening to me, let me ask you this final question. Lesotho's king is the AU nutrition champion. What is the state of food security in your country?
It depends in the district or counties. What in counties in Lesotho. So most of the areas are in the areas. So what is actually it depends on family. What I can tell you that we are living in a very difficult country where most people are living below the poverty line. So it is not that good.
Okay, thank you very much. We want to take leave of you now because of the connection so terrible and we barely understand most of the things you are saying. So we will cross over now to Sierra Leone to speak with our next correspondent, John Whitfield, on the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. So you listen to him partly, though he came in distorted, but you was talking about nutrition and food security. A conference will be held in March this year, and hoping that Lesotho and other African countries can benefit from that particular summit. Issues of Today on VOL 104.1. Our next correspondent, trying to reach him from Sierra Leone, John Whitfield, always standing ready to join us on the line. Well, as we still make efforts to reach John this evening on the program, let me just continue. Okay, John is now on the line. John, good evening. Let me go straight to your lead before I can follow up with questions. The ECOWAS Court of Justice has held a hearing on the merits of a case filed 5 years ago after two Ebola survivors and the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law filed a lawsuit against the government of Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leone government since then had failed to respond to the issues raised by the two Ebola survivors as well as civil society body and requested for yet another adjournment. But the court noted that the hearing was long overdue and that is needed to make progress in the matter. Well, to get more on this detail about the outcome of the merits of the matter and judgment, we can now join our correspondent, John Whitfield. John, good evening. John, can you hear me? Wow, technology. John, let's try to reconnect John quickly because I'm not sure he's getting me this evening on the program. We are trying to reconnect John Whitfield to give us details of this development from Freetown, Sierra Leone. You are listening to Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1 FM. Well, we have to take a short break. Can we just play the theme song whilst we try to get John and try to see whether we can, John, hello, John. Oh wow, John phone is still giving problem. But let's cross over to another place and see whether we can get Amadou County from the Gambia Let's see if we can get Amadou Kanti. Then we will take Amadou from the Gambia on the show this evening. 104.1. Keep listening as we continue the program right here for you. We are here up to later. That is 9 o'clock as usual. So we are trying to establish contact now with Mr. County, our correspondent in the Gambia. We want to sincerely apologize to all of you listening or those of you watching. We are experiencing problems with our lines, with the internet in particular. So let's just inform you. We have to, complete this segment before we can go to another segment. I don't know whether Amadou is his line is ringing, and whether he's close to his phone. But let's take a short break now. Let's take a short break and rejoin our folks on the program tonight. Please do not go away. This is Voice of Liberia, 104.1 FM. Welcome back to Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1, and many thanks for rejoining us after our break. Let's now go to Sierra Leone to speak with our correspondent there from Freetown. The ECOWAS Court of Justice has held a hearing on the merits of a case filed 5 years ago after 2 Ebola survivors and the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law filed a lawsuit against the government of Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leonean government since then had failed to respond to the issues raised by the 2 individuals. We have now been joined on the line by our Sierra Leone's correspondent John Whitfield. John, good evening and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on the line.
Okay, give us a background into the reason why these two groups filed a lawsuit against the government of Sierra Leone.
So in 2014, 2015, we all know that Sierra Leone, like other African countries, and few of them were plagued with the Ebola. And in Sierra Leone, lives were lost as well. So, but when the virus was put to an end between 2015, 2016 to 2017, there were certain amenities that were to be given to Ebola survivors because some of them were suffering from post-traumatic disorder. Some of them had health issues and the likes. So monies that came in for them from international bodies were supposed to be given to be taking care of them. Now, some of them could not read and write and could not represent themselves.
Okay.
So because those goodies were not given to them, those who can read and write and those who went to meet humanitarian organizations had to take the government to court 5 years back to see how best government could give them what they needed. But unfortunately, government had failed to respond, and that is why they had to go back to the ECOWAS court to see how best they could go to the hearing of the merits.
During the hearing of the merits, what did the two parties present?
So the counsel for the plaintiffs, who is Oludayo Fagbemi, is a senior legal officer at the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa. He argued that had Sierra Leone used the monies properly, they would have been used for the welfare of Ebola survivors. One of the arguments he put forward is that had the missing 14 million US dollars, and this was captured in Sierra Leone's audit report then, he argued that had that money not been missing, government would have used it appropriately. He said because of the mismanagement of available Ebola response resources, it resulted in more infections and the loss of more lives. And also the council also noted that 8 years since the virus was put to an end, the Sierra Leone government is yet to prosecute anyone for theft or even mismanagement of the missing funds. But when it comes to the person representing the government for Sierra Leone by the name of Usman Kanu Esquire, he opposed the application of the applicants, claiming that the Anti-Corruption Commission found nothing unusual with respect to the misuse of Ebola funds, and that appeals into the Commission of Inquiry's findings are still ongoing.
Wow. So what was the reaction from the plaintiffs when they heard what the government representatives said?
So the director for the Center for Accountability for Rule of Law, CAL, which is a civil society that's partnered with the two Ebola survivors, said that they regretted that it took so long for this matter to be heard by the court. And they said that they felt let down by the government's clear lack of commitment to its own public statements because they had promised that they will sit on the matter and they will respond. And that the Ebola survivors have waited more than 5 years to see this day. But unfortunately, government had not responded. But now they are glad that finally the hearing has come to pass.
Did they arrive at a conclusion?
So the only conclusion they arrived is that the court will issue a decision by the 10th of May 2023. But however, the presiding judge indicated that the court will be willing to recognize and adopt a settlement agreement before a judgment if the parties present one to the court.
Thank you so much for filling us in from Freetown, John.
Thank you.
John Whitfield is our correspondent in Sierra Leone, filling us in from that part of Africa. You're listening to Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1, and the segment is the International Desk, where we go across Africa to speak with our correspondents there on the program Issues of Today with Sekou and Emmanuel. So we're trying to get another person. Let's go to the Gambia. Let's go to the Gambia now and speak with Amadou County. Amadou County is our able correspondent in the Gambia. We are joining him now to, tell us exactly what's happening in his country. This is Africa, so we should be concerned of happenings across other African nations. They are our brothers and sisters. Let's see whether Amadou is ready on issues of today right here on VOL. Welcome back. We now go to Tanzania now to speak with our correspondent there. He's reporting that the presidents of Tanzania and Zambia have agreed on the need to fast-track the upgrading of an over 5-decade-old oil pipeline, which the two countries share. The more than 1,000-kilometer Tanzania-Zambia Mafuta pipeline has been running since 1968 and transports more than 1 million tons of crude oil per year from the port of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania to the city of Ndola in Zambia. Seth Luambano is our international correspondent based in Tanzania. He joins us live on the line. Let's say good evening to you, Seth.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hope you are doing well. So what has been raised by those leaders following the discussion on this project?
Of course, something which is very great and attractive to the people of Tanzania and Zambia through this project. But I can say that in a statement on his official Facebook page, Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema said he met with Tanzanian counterpart Samia Suluhu Hassan on the sideline of the 36th ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with the pipeline at the top of the meeting's agenda. And he said that their meeting with our Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan was centered on the strengthening bilateral relationship in the area of the trade facilitation and the energy investment between our two countries. So top of the agenda was Tazama project. Say this and adding that the objective of rehabilitate the pipelines and its auxiliary systems. So this was raised by these leaders about the project.
It is reported that this project has been heavily criticized by some progressive stakeholders in Tanzania. Why are they doing this?
Of course, one of the big agenda and discussion about this is how does Tanzania and Zambia going to be benefit from this? So it's raised some critics to those progressive stakeholders. But the pipeline, the pipeline remains a critical asset because Zambia, the country, does not produce a crude of its own, and instead depending on imports from Europe and the Middle East via the port of Dar es Salaam. But making this clear in a separate post in her official Facebook page, our President Samia Suluhu Hassan announced that the bilateral meeting that our country was keen in ensuring that the project was realized for mutual benefit of the two nations. So the people should be calm and wait. The big profit will come soon.
So, what is the importance of the project for both countries? What do they stand to benefit?
Um, of course, when I'm starting looking to Zambia about this, Zambian current fuel needs over about 1 million liters daily, and the Southern African nation has not been spared from the pressure on the global oil market. So, with local pumps prices for the community commodities now fetching around USA dollar 1.5 per liter. So this it raised some challenge in our country and Zambia. So in his latest statement of the project, Energy Minister Peter Kapala said it will help to keep petroleum costs affordable while ensuring road transporters that their businesses will not be impacted and their service would be required simultaneously with this project. So he said a lot of things, but the important issue is about this, that people, they are going to benefit through that project.
Thank you so much for speaking with us this evening on Issues of Today, Seth.
Thank you.
Seth Lubando is our international correspondent based in Tanzania, filling us in about a bilateral discussion between two countries, well, Tanzania and Zambia. We would now make attempts now to speak with our final correspondent this evening on the program Issues of Today on 104.1. Okay, so we will now quickly join Amadou County, our final correspondent for tonight, before we can move on to another thing or another issue this evening on VOL. Well, Gambia's Ministry of Justice on Monday issued a statement condemning the leader of Gambia's main opposition party. That party person, the individual is Osinu Dabo's comments on the recent commission instituted by President Adama Barrow to look into the council's activities as inaccurate and illogical. The formation of the Commission of Inquiry to scrutinize the local council's activities has generated divergent reactions amongst the Gambians home and abroad. Our correspondent, who is always posted in Banjul, Amadou Kante, joins us on the line for more details. Good evening, Amadou.
Good evening, Sekou, and thank you very much for having me once again.
Tell us, why do you think the Justice Ministry has strongly condemned the UDP leader? Hello, Amadou? Oh, my word.
Yeah, we trying
to reconnect. Please, let's do that reconnection quickly. Before we can go, let's do the reconnection quickly with Amadou County to fill us in from the Gambia, and then we can move on to another matter. I saw Sekou coming in smiling. What didn't you laughing for?
Anything on me.
Well, this is voice of Liberia. Let me try to reconnect quickly from my end here. I don't know what is going through. Technology.
I think it's going through our system. The guy is trying to. But if we can, we need to move because we have too many things.
Yes, we're making the final attempt now to see whether we can get Amadou to tell us exactly more information about
the Gambia. Have you been to the Gambia?
I haven't been there. I hope that one day I'll travel to the Gambia. In fact, all of the countries where we have our correspondents to meet these guys. Let's go back to the line. I was asking you a question relative to the Gambia's Ministry of Justice issuance of a statement. Well, I'm getting some. This seems tough. I think. Amadou, are you hearing me? Hello. I think we have to leave it as it is. I think we have to leave it as it is and move on because we've been experiencing similar challenges, you know. Okay, let me try you finally. Amadou, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sekou, and thank you very much for having me.
Well, maybe you have to shift a little for us to get you clearly because our audience will also appreciate getting the information that you will be giving us.
Exactly. I've been trying to maneuver around to have a better line. Apparently, it's the network probably, but I hope you can hear me now.
I think it's much better now. Gambia's Ministry of Justice on Monday issued a statement condemning the leader of Gambia's main opposition party, and he made a comment on the recent commission instituted by President Adama Barrow to look into the council's activities as inaccurate and illogical. Let me come to you quickly with the line of questions. Tell us, why do you think the Justice Ministry has strongly condemned the UDP leader?
Well, thank you once again for having me. I want to believe that the Gambia's Minister of Justice came up with this statement for the simple fact that there has been a lot of talks in relation to the commission that has been instituted by the government. And it might interest you to know, and the listeners of Voice of Liberia, that prior to the establishment of this commission by the president, the UDP leader had warned the president that any attempt to, come up with such a commission or any commission could be resisted by his party, because most of these councils have been manned by members of the UDP. So I think the ministry, as the legal component of the government, felt it might be important to give a response to the UDP leader. And before the ministry did, it was the President Barrow's party who forced out over the weekend and also to condemn Dabo's comment, but equally some of the allegations that he had on the NDP.
Well, there has been several attacks and counterattacks between the government and the UDP leadership. Why do you think this has been the case?
Well, interesting. I think the counterattacks with the government and the country's main opposition party, that is the United Democratic Party, on the leadership of Oceano Dabo, has been happening for the simple fact that it's just barely a few months before the upcoming local government elections. And again, both parties are very much adamant and ready to go into these elections on a very strong note, or footing rather, and they have both informed Gambians of their eager to either maintain or get a hand on these local government councils. So the tensions has been somehow high between the two parties. Mm-hmm. So I think this has been more or less the main reason why we have been seeing allegations against counter allegations and attacks between the two sides, that is the president's party or the government itself and the UDP. So I think the political tension is growing here between the two sides.
Bring us up to speed on the latest political situation in the Gambia, with just few months to the holding of the local government elections.
Absolutely. As I just mentioned, and also you have just, of course, said so, that with just really a few months to the elections, and tensions here in the Gambia is getting higher. The UDP is not relenting on their request to make sure that they would claim or retain their councils that they are manning apparently or at the moment, and the president's NPP also are very much on alert, if you like, to make sure that they would, remove UDP in most of the strong areas, especially within the Greater Banjul area. The BCC City Council is a main, contest point and or a bone of contention, if you like, and also at this, Carnifing Municipal Council also is a great interest in the West Coast region of the country. Also, is another centered area that the two parties are really eyeing on. So the political tension here right now, I can tell you, it's very, very interesting. And so the other political parties also are doing their bit. Civil society, the civil society organizations are equally weighing in some quotas, and the IEC, that is the Independent Electoral Commission, are equally very much on the other side. So I can tell you it has been quite a very interesting moment here. So in the next couple of weeks or so, it will be much more interesting, I can tell you, here in the Gambia as far as the upcoming local government elections are concerned.
Hope it doesn't result into violence.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope so. That is what Gambians are all hoping for. And because we have organized a very peaceful elections, and we were praised by, the regional bodies and international bodies as well. And I think lessons might have been learned from that, despite all the hype and all the, seemingly tensions that are emerging in some quarters. It will all go well as expected. So, I think it will be a peaceful, well-organized elections. Inshallah. So we're all looking forward to that, in a few months' time.
Thank you so much for joining us, Amadou.
Thank you, Sekou. Always a pleasure to join you on the line from Banjul. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Amadou County, our correspondent, joining us from Banjul. Well, that does it for the segment that has to do with our international desk. We now transition, Sekou.
Yes, and I want to say thank you, Emmanuel, reaching out to our international correspondents, bringing to our listeners what's happening around the world. This is what we do. No one else do what we do in Liberia. We see it, and no one else can do what we do here, yeah? Okay, so folks, like we said today, we've been going through a lot. And maybe we never wanted to tell you, but I think we can say it to you today. Based on rumors, based on what we've heard from other people, about the character in question, Ali Kabasi, we've been very tactical and skeptical in our movements. Many days, Emmanuel will leave the air. He remains to the radio station up to 10, 11, with a fear that Ali could send someone to him or do something, because we have messages in our possession where Ali continues to break that nothing will happen to him. But let's just explain the story. For those of you maybe just joining us now, right? As a media institution and investigative journalists, we were informed about a story involving one Johnny Babani. His alleged involvement into defrauding the government of Liberia of neither taxes and that of revenue. And the fair thing to do in journalism is to get us side of a story. So we reached out to him to get his side of the story. That was the bad thing we did. That Ali thought within himself that he has all the power, he questioned us as to why we contacted Johnny Babanin. And he started to rain insults. And he went to the extent and threatened my life. Being a law-abiding citizen, we reach out to our lawyers. We reach out to the management of Voice of Liberia, our colleagues, and all other people. We reach out to them and we told them about a threat on our life. And we begin to get some pieces of advice from people as to how we should proceed with this matter. We're interested to know the following day, the night of the threat, the following day to that night, when the guys were on the morning show, making the public to understand that one of them, life has been threatened because of an investigation we've conducted. And on that process, I received a call from Ali Kobasi, the owner of BMC. And I have every one of them. And Ali said, "My man, I like it. Y'all continue to make me popular. Y'all keep my name on the radio. Y'all keep calling my name. Y'all making me popular in Liberia. Plenty of people getting to know me. Now, we are explaining these things so you can know the instances and where we've reached to determine as to whether apology is something sincere or, man, just do the apology, man." So that day, I asking again, Ali, you have no regret for what you did? He said, "Y'all keep talking." So, okay. We don't have the power. We are not violent people. We are law-abiding citizens. What did we do? We continue to have consultation with our colleagues, with our lawyers, with people that we always listen to in terms of issues of such. It came a time again, there is the first time he called after the threat. While they were having another discussion, Ali Kobasi called again without any remorse of what he has done. He said nothing will happen to him. And he can't even shake. If we like, we can be on for as many as we think we can. What do? We let it be. We had him on record. And we continue to flag the issue. And Ali continued to call and add insult to injuries. This is a country of law. Respect the system. We are not above the laws of the country. No matter who you know, no matter who you interact with, no matter who you think you depend on, this is a country of law. No one should threaten anyone's life, no matter who you know or who you are connected to. And so we decided to continue to remain resolute, to continue to pursue the issue and seek redress. We wrote the police. For what reason the police could not invite us soon? The very next day or the day till the day in which we agreed to go out and do a peaceful march, we receive a message or we receive a call first from the police spokesman, Moses Carter, informing us to be at the police headquarters by 10 o'clock, and he called us by 9:37 a.m. When we communicated that with the lawyer, he said that was an affront and a disrespect on the part of the police towards us. You cannot be inviting someone. We're not saying you should write. No, they can be done verbally. We don't have a problem. But you cannot be inviting me in for a meeting or a very important matter of such. And you use 23 minutes to tell me I should get prepared, I should get my lawyer, So that was carelessly done on the part of the police. So we did not honor that issue. The next day, Liberians came up in their numbers, in their thousands. And we had a peaceful march to the police headquarters. Even though the police director did not come to accept our letter or the petition, but I think they said one of us, someone receive it, present it to them. And we go to the legislature. And we presented it to them. I want to say thank you to all the lawmakers. And they promised us that on today we were to be invited, or that issue should have, come on the floor. This is about the life of a Liberian. And this is about the life of an investigative journalist. So we left. When we left, it was interesting to know we will read you messages from Ali. Today I will read all the messages. He has 2 numbers. And for privacy sake, I won't announce his numbers. When I announce the 2 numbers, I will be in violation to announce his private numbers. If he's a government official, I could have announced it because it's a public servant. But for this issue, he's a foreign national residing in Liberia, doing his business, so I need not to announce his number. So this is the message that Ali sent, and he continues to send to me. At one point in time, when we went to the legislature, we posted and let the public know, because we are journalists and we are answerable to the Liberian people. When we posted, you know what did Ali do, folks? This is the message that Ali wrote me. He said, morning. And then he sent me his picture. You know why he sent the picture? He said, please use this picture too. Because we posted 2 pictures of him. So he's telling us now in that message that the one we use is not enough. So we should go ahead and use the clear one he sent us. So it tells us that he's not even moved. He's not burdened. He's not jittered about what he has done to us. The threat he has sent to us. So he said, please use this too. He said, when you use it, I will send new one too. Now Ali writing also. Then he went by and said, I will support you. Don't worry. Then Ali went to the extent, he wrote this to us. He said, I'm solid like rock. Listen, Ali said he's solid like rock. You will be on me for 1 year. I will never shake. That Ali Kobasi, that he the one writing. Ali Kobasi, he the one writing here. So the message that we sent to Jitendra Babani, Johnny Babani, for his involvement into, defrauding government, he took that same message and sent to me as if to say what a crime in the message for me to ask the man about his side. So one of the local outlets, they share my post. So he screenshot the post and sent it to me. And this is what he said. Ali writing me, you don't even know what you are writing. 2 separate statements and conflicting. Let the people make fun out of you. Enjoy your day. Then you know what he said again? He said, by the way, they call me Spider One, not honest Spider, please. Now, this is the Ali a day before they say, oh, he's saying apology, everything. This is the Ali sending these messages to us, though. They're not different person, oh. That Ali Kobasi sending these messages. So what we're going to do now, we will speak of our lawyer first. Then before we can read the letter Ali wrote, and you will listen to the next action of us. Are we going to accept the mere apology letter? Or are we going to forge ahead? Just so you know, the lawmakers said they were to invite us today. They called us. But while we were at the president of Liberia, we missed the call of one of the lawmakers letting us know that they were to put the issue on the floor. We want to use this time to apologize to them, but we've been informed on Thursday of this week, the issue of us will be placed on the floor at the House of Representatives, and Ali will be made to answer to questions, and the laws of our country will be respected. We will not do this, and we will not accept this to go the way usually it goes. And he brags that nothing will happen to him. And so maybe a friend is, oh, my man, I'll lead our people, man. Just go read letter, apology. You know, just go read, there, leave it in. No, that's not it. Our international friends, the management, they've asked us to communicate with you Liberians that we did not say Ali insult us to just say sorry. We said he threatened us. So we will not just accept apology. Our security matters. This is a man, it is alleged he moves with some of the notorious people in our country. And so we will read you the letter, and then we go to our lawyer, and you hear what he said to us. And this is an official communication from Ali. You know, God can do things. God not sleeping. When God ready to expose you, God can use yourself against yourself. So we have a legitimate evidence. It says BMC, Building Materials Center, General Merchandise, blah, 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 Capital Bypass, P.O. Box, all the addresses, emails, telephone numbers are here. Oh, yeah. All the numbers have been calling me on AO. Then he said, February 21, 2023, Ali Kobasi, Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Building Material Center, BMC, Capital Bypass, Monrovia, Liberia. Reference, letter of apologies. Dear journalist Sharif, kindly accept my compliments and best wishes. I read to apologize for the threat, so he admitted. Easy. He admitted that he threatened me. I read to apologize for the threat. Word I can't say the one he wrote in the letter here. Used against you during you and I conversation on the phone. By saying I will not say.
No, let the people know. Let's do it this way. Let's place it in a context. By saying I will F with you, using the F word.
Yes, okay.
So I hope the people understand.
Yeah, by saying I will F with you in our conversation, I did not mean harm, or I did not mean I will harm you. I'm a peaceful citizen and a friend of the Liberian media. As such, I cannot do any harm to anyone. It is unfortunate that I threatened you. I was just emotional and again apologize for the harsh exchange. Trust me, I cannot do any harm to you anymore. I cannot do any harm to anyone. I will even like to use your media platform radio to apologize if the opportunity is given me. Meanwhile, I want to assure you, journalist Sekou Sharif, that I will not interfere in your journalistic work by interfering or speak on behalf of anyone when being investigated by you, journalist Sekou Sharif of Voice of Liberia Radio 104.1. I look forward to a good and friendly working relationship. Best regards, Ali Kobasi, CEO, Building Material Store. That is the letter. Listen, that is the letter, right? That he wrote. But Ali said he was emotional. We don't want to play that recording again. But some of you that have heard the recording, I asked Ali 2 different times. So how will you say you are
Whether
emotional?
it was a threat, and he said
Actually,
yes.
number 1, is it a threat? You say yes. Is it no, listen. Folks, so you're sorry, we need to play it. Yes, sorry, let's play with that voice, one of it. Listen to the man I said, he did not mean to do it. Now, you did not mean to do something, but you've been sending us messages telling us that nothing will happen to you. You are rock. We should continue to talk. Then you say we cannot? No, we will speak of our lawyer, and you will listen to our position from our lawyer as to what we make of this issue. You're listening to the man that said that mistake.
I'll call you. My name Ali from BMC. I'm right here on Capital Bypass. And I hope you recorded my voice.
Yeah, Ali, go ahead.
You call Johnny from Good Luck. You tell him, man, that I bring in less light. I don't know what thing.
I'm hearing you. Go ahead, talk. I'm hearing you.
Yeah. Why are you calling the man to tell him all this one first?
So who are you, by the way? Who are you to this issue I asked him?
I'm the man boss man.
You're the man boss man, right?
And this shit they are doing, I will fuck with y'all. This nonsense you can be doing, running behind business people for nonsense, to intimidate people or blackmail people for money. You must stop it. All day you are disturbing business people for fucking money.
So you say you say you will fuck with me, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Now you listen. I asked him, so you say you will? He said yes. Now you cannot be emotional and you say things, you will catch yourself, right? When you say something you know, say you don't really mean to say, you say play again. So you listen to the next one, asking again. Is it a threat? You listen.
You will fuck with me, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
It's a threat to
Bye.
me, right?
Yeah, fuck you.
Aha, easy. So how can they make him a letter say he was emotional, he made mistake? No, it was not a mistake. He did it intentionally. He knows exactly what he's doing. And this man continues to send us messages that are telling us that nothing will happen to him. Let us call our lawyer now, Councillor Sharif, who's going to tell us now the implications and what he sees as our lawyer and what he intends and what his legal advice to us concerning this matter. He's our legal person, and we will listen to him. And what he says to us is what we're going to do. We have our legal person on the line. Councillor Sharif joins us tonight. Councillor Sharif, we want to say good evening to you and thank you for standing by us.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
So we have a letter which you've been following, and you've even advised us legally for the benefit of the public, Councillor Sharif. Can you please explain to the Liberian people about the letter you received on behalf of us today at the headquarters of the President of Liberia, and what has been your legal advice to this matter?
Well, thank you very much for that. The letter that was received, I personally received and hand delivered to you, talk about Ali apologizing to the institution, especially to you, that was offended. And in that letter, he actually mentioned that he made a threat, and he was withdrawing the threat and apologizing for the wrongdoing and promised to be a good person, and even promised to be a good citizen in which he will even promote you. So for me, as a lawyer, I saw that letter to be like, yes, indeed, he apologized, but looking at the consequence of the crime and the degree of the crime, terroristic threats under our law is penal code criminal law. first-degree felony has to do with somebody's life. And I've been advising you, indeed, an apology could be accepted or it is accepted, but he has to go beyond that letter. Like I said, we need for him to be committed to the letter, meaning he has to do a commitment bond which is surety that he will never be protected, including the institution and entire workforce. So it is a letter, it's a good letter that needs to be publicized, and but he needs to go beyond that.
So without him doing that, we have next step to take. Isn't so? You as our legal person.
Yes, what we need to do, my advice could be to the institution, is particularly you that was an offender in this matter that were threatened. We need to demand for a commitment bond. Under the law, where you say, I will kill you, I will fuck you up, sorry for the language, which is very harsh. The interpretation comes different way.
Sure.
You may interpret in your own way, I don't mean harm. Like you put here in a letter, I don't mean harm. Yes, you will say that. That is inwardly, but outwardly, people look at it different. Interpretation comes different way, like I said. So, therefore, he needs to do a commitment bond that will commit him to protecting your life. That's where I stand.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sherry. And let me say this on the radio. Everything that you will say to us as our legal person, we stand by you and we accept everything. So it means we are telling him to do a commitment bond. Other than that, we will have to seek the redress under the laws of Liberia.
Certainly.
Thank you, Councillor. Tomorrow we hope to see.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. He's our Councillor. Councillor Sherry, you listen to him, Emmanuel. So to tell you that are listening, we've seen this. We've seen it, but it is about our life. Not just something you just come and go say, oh, sorry. No. No. We don't agree. Our life matter. We're in a critical period in Liberia. And so we have staffs that are working here. We have other people, including myself. Do you know how this stress has played on me? I'm afraid. When I'm passing, I'm afraid. Even sometimes of recent, when you just blow car home near me, I will jet because the problem is I think that Ali has sent someone to do something to me. So I still continue to live under that fear that Ali might come on me anytime. And interestingly, Ali asked someone, and that person is willing to testify. Ali asked someone for my house. He even promised someone to give them 4,000 to set me up. This in Ali May. Ali asked someone for my house that he wanted to know where I'm living. And that person is willing to testify. And so, we want to say to our Liberian people, you Liberians, we are working for you. Everything we do here, we are doing it for you. But we are saying here tonight that the letter from Ali Kobasi, we received the letter, but we will not accept the letter until Ali can do a commitment bond and committing himself that if anything happens to us, he's responsible. God comes first, but he will be responsible because he could go behind the scene and use someone else and come and say, oh, but I apologize. And say sorry. No, this is a country of law. It's so good. One of our lawyers has advised us, and our international friends, they've told us that this is the right way. That not just apology. And so tomorrow we're going to have a major press conference And that press conference, if all goes well, will be relayed on various radio stations in Monrovia and also will be on various online televisions. And we'll publish the letter. And we will get prepared to go to the legislature on Thursday. And we'll follow this issue to the letter. We are not above the laws of Liberia. We will abide by what the law says. And let me say this to you tonight. Inasmuch you will be angry with Ali Kobasi, do not insult him. No one should insult Ali Kobasi. No one should threaten Ali Kobasi. No one should go to Ali Kobasi's store to do anything. No one should do it. This is a country of law, and we will follow what the law says. What the law says is what we're going to do. What the law says is what we're going to do. Hello? What the law says is what we're going to do. And so no one should go to Ali Kobasi area and think that you're going to do something otherwise to attack the man. No. We are not encouraging anyone to do that. What Ali has done, there are laws in our country that will make Ali to understand, no, you cannot do certain things in Liberia. So we want to say thank you to all the media institutions, like my colleague, Patrick Eastman. We want to say thank you to you guys from Hard FM. We want to say thank you to Obed Sebastian Jiba from Hard FM. You guys stood with us and continue to stand with us. We want to say thank you to Kelvin Demi from Prime FM and the likes of the folks at Prime FM. We want to say thank you to all the newspapers in Monrovia that carry our story. Now you're beginning to know that we don't sit on the radio and say things if we don't have facts. We've continued to say to you, if you know that you got issue with us, sue us. We are not above the law. This case will make you to believe what we say here. We don't just come and say things. 0770 907 907 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Liberians, what are your thoughts? This is where we are. We need your input. What do you make of it? We think by following what the law says is what we need to do. We cannot take the laws in our hands, and we think that this letter of apology is just as small as the way you think. We need much more assurance than what the letter of apology. Anybody can say sorry. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
This is Wally speaking from Congo Town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have little problem with it, but I'm very sorry for this thing, for the manner that approach by Ali. I don't know Ali who. But the problem is the journalists also should be a twin model in the country to have advice for the citizen, the president, and the opposition. But
so,
many journalists are
hello. Listen, yes? You know what we're not allowed from you tonight?
No.
We're discussing a specific issue. If you can't speak on the issue, we beg you to leave the line.
No, sorry. But the problem is...
Okay, so speak to the issue, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So what I'm thinking on, yes, the man is wrong to pronounce that word. You know, you don't need to threaten anybody in the war, in the country, because their country been fighting war for several years. Now, you the journalists also have to be careful. That's the problem with Liberia. Liberia is a war country.
So what journalists do? Okay, we might have the things and the people doing the bad things they're doing?
No, sometimes insulting some people, sometimes you see something is not true, you don't know all true, you can put an insult.
Well, who insult now? Who insult?
Many journalists here insult some leaders, or opposition leaders, some other journalists.
No, my man, we're not talking about journalists insult. No journalists insult. We're not insulting the case here. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Lloyd D. Johnson of Foundation by Loyalty and a Johnny Foundation of the Keba community.
Lloyd, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, brother. You see, I want for you to follow this particular case to the letter. Let me tell you, the people say, any car snake where you, when you see laser tape, you're seeing the same snake coming. Now, follow this particular case to the letter. Let it be a warning to the rest of them that want to do the same thing, so that they can come in and share. Because Somebody can apologize to you with their mouth and they have different intent behind them. Don't say only anything that maybe anything you try that was you just walk for another level you coming for which of the country anything you try anything that happens to you just walk for years to the country you're coming for because we'll show them what they do.
Thank you very much. This person on the line. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much, Seku from Kawatan. This voice is George Bidna. Now, listening to you very carefully, Seku, I want the king, and I'll be calling. I actually want you to actually, replay. I'll be calling clear, so that people can actually listen to that particular, foreign, to that foreign guy. Because I think, guys, they are actually, having some opportunity from some of the government officials that the see they behave that kind of wild way, in the country to the peaceful, common Liberian citizens. So I think that guys, I don't know what kind of steps are you actually standing back now to actually take. But Councillor Sifa, we are listening to him.
Councillor Sharif.
Next week,
thank you. This Thursday will be to the Capitol Berlin. Good evening. We'll go to our lawmakers, our direct representatives. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, Secretary. I'm Abraham Kamba recording from the Street to Akasari Bodofa community.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the phone. I just want to give the advice. List all your office, your station staff, the workers. If you listen to that, because it means that nonsense you can do in the country, I will fuck with you. The world, the definition, you're not entitled to one person. Ain't getting me?
Yeah.
You are the voice of that whole station. Tell the way things going, you can forget what you and hunt after somebody from behind you.
Yes, you're right.
So all the workers, even including my men are there, the manager of that station. Who's speaking? I'm Abraham. I am a vigilante brother.
Okay.
Yeah, interviewed me over 2 terms.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll take more calls. Hello.
Hello, Seku.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is DJ Lomé.
Okay, DJ Lomez, I want to say thank you. You stood with us, and this is how far we've reached. Thank you very much for all you continue to do. We're very humble to have you as one of our friends.
Thank you, my brother. Look, this thing, you got to go beyond that. And thank God, you listen to the lawyers, whatsoever the lawyer will give. Let go with the lawyer advice and see how best we can end the case. But it shouldn't be end on a level that Ali would make more part of us. Then you get to know this country is a country of law. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. We take another person. Oh, you always do this, my brother. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes.
Go remind Lilo, my mentor, and my teacher, Seku from Atasheri.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Basically, from the Bible STI being located in Jackie. My name is Alexander Obama Putu, Young to the 10 Allah, Seku from Atasheri via King.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I think I'm sitting and I listening to the recording. Seku, what we have to take into consideration is that this issue has to do with threatening, with our law. It is punishable. You cannot come and threaten someone by saying, I will deal with you. Then later you try to create an artificial judgment by saying you written letter of apology. Then the question comes about what prompted you to use such a statement? So meaning your mouth has been set. That's why you said you will deal with the person. And I love the way in which they put it. Tomorrow there will be a major press conference. So kudos to you, Lilo. Some of us, we are watching in the back. That's why we continue and have you as our mentor and our teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another caller on the line. Good evening. Hello. Hello. Hello, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Sherry. May Allah be with you.
Inshallah.
May Allah guide you and your family.
Amina, inshallah.
May Allah give you wisdom.
Amina, inshallah.
The Shari have been following you, I am picking you, always testing you, but I will use it one time.
Okay.
May Allah make everything easy for you.
Inshallah, my brother. Amina,
Your
inshallah.
Shari, I got information that the people,
Ali Kobasi.
The journalist. Okay, the journalist, I got it. It was all working at his store. Tell me that the journalist, they went there, the man getting small things. So they tell the man what to do. Oh, my man, go and put your son working in the school. The person called me. My man, I know you should come in. I said, yeah. Even my boss can tell me. I got information from all of guys and going to the man and to the president. Telling my man, the president telling my man, do what you want to do. Okay? You just give me idea. So they're the one getting the idea what to do. I tell you, I mean, I'm sorry. What the lawyer are saying, you fight, you should go through it and go to the on Thursday.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
we're not. Yeah, thank you very much. We're not going to the Capitol building with march or nothing. We will be, we are told that our matter will be placed on the floor, and so maybe we'll need to be there to explain or whatsoever and everything. And then we invite the Ali man. He's not above the laws of our country. This is Liberia. Good evening.
Good evening, Siku Sharif.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
And good evening to your co-host. I'm Francisco Mokadu joining for St. Catherine.
Go ahead, brother.
A particular call. I don't know why. If you don't understand English, you just forget. Don't call ownership. Because you heard the recording over and over, and you heard the man threatening you. Then you say that you call to other people. Ask them, hello?
Yes, go ahead. You live.
Yeah. So I bet you, I don't want you to take that case out of grant issue to issue.
Sure.
But take it very seriously, brother. It's a last threat.
Sure.
So I beg you, please play back that recording. The first caller that called and shall say all about rubbish he said that somebody said. After we can't threaten you, they come in, you won't justify.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Let's be, let's just, hello. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sekou.
Good evening. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Muslim. I was calling you from Arai.
RIA.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dad. Let's hear you.
Look, the problem is that dating has become a normal thing in this country. Those people speak because our own government gives them that protection. This is why they speak like that. Nobody will speak like that because he knows what he dependent on what he's doing it, and he forget to know that we have a law that is governed by legal minded people in this country. And what he said from the clip I did listen to, it was almost like he was speaking with authority.
Yeah, because I asked him 2 times. He repeated it, that he didn't do it out of emotion or mistake.
You see, so this is the thing we always talk about. Because those people do those things and they go without, like impunity with no prosecuting them, they gather the same old Liberians, lawyers and things, they go and will somehow up. This is why they go, you don't go in your country and behave and begin to start threatening them like that. But because of that open door policy that make them so, that they don't have no regard for even our citizens in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. We want to say thank you. We'll take another person. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Kalasco.
Good evening. I'm Sekou Sharif.
Okay, Mr. Sekou Sharif.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Mr. Mola, calling from Central Monrovia.
Go ahead.
I don't blame you guys in this country. We've been our very self because we said ourselves to do. I don't know which one y'all going to use on them.
No, don't insult. Just express
No,
yourself.
I'm not being insulted. You see, white men come from your suffering country and come to Liberia to see green passion that you don't respect the people within the country. Because our same people are better to those people, so they have sold us to them. So based upon that, they don't have regard for us. You don't do this thing to places like Nigeria, Ghana. You don't do that bull crap. If you do that bull crap, so to say you love the less money. But because of we Liberia, you're so level-headed, so those things around on level in here, who can come and talk about bull crap in our country, won't bring them. But if the law allows them, those he-goats, they will come to their senses. And that should set us to be different to the others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We take another person here.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hello?
Yes, you live. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Secretary.
Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Colley, and this is from my district acting resident.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Thank you. I may appreciate you. I did we all on the parent. Let me say this. Please do not compromise the Liberia interest with Ali Kobazi.
I would never.
You Ali Kobazi apologize on your lips. We're not for your heart. Second, when you I listen because the message I want you. I will deal with you all.
Mm-hmm.
Is that only you can be from that donkey in all us?
Yeah.
So don't say that case like this. The apology is not be accepted. For me, and I accept the apology.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Ali Kobazi telling me because you are Liberian.
Yeah.
For me, Secretary, and I accept the apologies. And please don't compromise like you, Ali Kobazi. Let Ali Kobazi say the weight of the country. Let him know that the country is law abiding. You're not going to make your own name. Me apologize when you live. Don't do it, Segu.
Okay, member.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
How are you, Secretary?
Go ahead, sir.
Segu, I want to tell you that, Liberia, this country is stronger than our country. I was working with one Nigerian national up Benson Street. I was assisting him in the lab. That man used to tell me that even if he do something to me and I take him to labor ministry before I reach there, I will meet him there. So that talk he used to give me, it made me put fear in me, and now I left that place. Yes. So the country here, we have to be very careful. I'm Solomon Mahmoudino, and I call from Gola Konen District, Grand Cape Town.
Grand Cape Gola Konen. Thank you very much. The people of Liberia are listening, and we'll continue to inform them. My name is Sekou Sharif Emmanuel Davis.
Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening, sir. Let's hear you.
My name is Mr. Clemens, and I'm calling you from Bannersville.
Bannersville, let's hear you.
Good. There is no apology in life threat.
Mm-hmm.
The law compare you when you have done a threat, and that threat is not for Sekou Sharif alone. It's also for all the press people in this country. We know what happened in the country. If bribery can start from where you're trying to report, bribery can also go into the individual who are in a case.
Mm-hmm.
What the man is doing now is going to individuals, including your lawyer, okay,
mm-hmm.
to make this thing to go down. All right? If you must go to the law, let the court make that man to make a paper in the court. Not through lawyer, not through a country, let them go before the law. Reach the justice ministry. Anything you end up to justice ministry. Sekou, I'm telling you, something very serious.
Sure.
All right.
We're not taking it lightly.
You end up in justice. You want to write a letter of apology or whatever. Let the law determine what he must write, what he's supposed to write, and what he's supposed to do. There is something in detail more than what he did. Now, what happened to you? Nothing has happened to you, but something is happening to you.
Yeah.
You're very much emotional. Right now, you're not to yourself.
Sure.
That's something you already done.
It plays something a lot. I said when somebody just told me I can be afraid. In fact, when I just see someone, I'm afraid. Anytime I'm driving when I pass is stole, I feel afraid.
Professionally, you're not working correctly right now because you have fear.
Yeah.
You see? It's an interpretation right there.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have done, how can he compensate for that damage?
No, we don't even want him to compensate us. We just want him to do a commitment bond. That when anything happens to us, he's responsible. Let the man take charge of it. Our security be in his hands. Hello?
Yeah, Sekou Sharif.
Go ahead.
How are you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Mohammed Gitawa, one of the people defenders are conducting this for the executive. How are you?
No bad, Chief.
Thank you very much, Sekou Sharif. You bring in the identical the man on the radio, but threatening you. That's what they do to the Liberians here. The unfortunate people, the identical Indians and Lebanese here, people working for them, they have a story, they feel to themselves, they have money, so they can get to everything go free. For the way in which he handled this one, anytime when you investigating any of them on behalf of Liberian people, they're not the one that send you, they're not the one that give you money to be a station.
Yeah.
You do your work for history to recall you tomorrow for Liberian people. If you investigating one Indian man or one of the businessmen that differently Liberian people, you have the right to threat you. And I want to commend all Liberians that stood by you. Secretary, I always inform some journalists. I say, whatsoever thing you are doing in the country, if you are doing the right way, the Liberian people observing you and they monitor you. Anytime you call in your interest, and they will appear.
Sure.
You know, vast majority of the Liberian people that stood by you, Secretary, continue your work. And that man, and not only that apology. You are going to the court.
The man will do commitment bond.
Let the court pay, punish him. Tomorrow, when any of them, they are making that kind of statement against that people that are working with them. You know, the last time, one of the story happened.
Okay, thank you, my brother. Let's take another person. Puka Roberts, one of the persons that stood with us, he came under the sun. We marched to the police headquarters and onward to the legislature. We want to say, Puka, we are very committed, humble to say thank you to you for your support you extended us.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for me to be appreciated by one of the finest and workaholic CEO, Mr. Sekou Sharif. Let me say this, first of all, for recognition for the public, I'm Puka Robert, and I join you from a comfortable residence on the Capitol bypass. Mr. CEO, God got your back. God got your back. The Liberian people got your back, but God got your back mostly. Sekou, your enemy is not as far as you thinking that he is. Your enemy is right under your feet.
Sure.
Everything you see, are they doing that? Sometimes you will cry and beg. On the other side, you cry and ask more. It is your own friend from the media sector.
But Ali said in the meeting, he said most of the media people went to him and said they wanted to fight me back.
I witnessed them. Ali got all of our photos. We that are prepared to stay with you for death. And not only for death, but also death. We are prepared to stay with you until death because you are doing the right thing. Ali got all of our photos. I was sitting across the road where Moses Carlos was living, and I saw total of your journalists, your media practitioners, they were right up at his store. But let me tell your media practitioners, when you feel that you can go to Ali because you're head out, trust me, you are risking your own life. Because some of us will not allow our left that Ali has 30. I didn't know 30 seconds left alone. And he said, you're me, anybody that stay with you.
Sure.
That stay with you.
Sure.
That's what Ali means. Then you got your street of general city, and because of small peanut, then they want to sell they want to sell their friend. But so let me say this. We, the angle of the conscious-minded youth, are prepared to stay with you to the logical conclusion of the matter.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And the thing that Puka said, let me just weigh in on small. You know, folks, it hurts. But at times, there are things we don't bring on the radio. But I don't know why some of our colleagues who are in the media, for what reason, there's this envy and jealousy, as continuing to, can you imagine this thing that happened to me on the 2 radio stations? Allow us to speak on 2 radio stations. And I always told people, no matter what you do, it is God's gift. It is my time. Your time will come. Emmanuel time will come. It is not because my time you want to envy me. And I want to say this to all my friends in the media. Go ahead. Ali said it to us in front of the people that all the journalists, most of the journalists went to him. That they wanted to come and help him to fight back. But I challenge journalists in Liberia. I'm saying this. And I put out this challenge to any journalist in Liberia. I challenge you 100 times 100. Go on your platform and say things about me that is unfounded. You will get me to contend with. I challenge any journalist. You think I get time for that thing? You know. Go talk something about me. Go. I ain't talking. Go talk something. You will know what will happen. You will know what will pass you. Go talk it. You're going to take money from Ali. It shows that really our colleagues then talk, Can you imagine your friend journalist, someone threatening this man's life? Even some of the newspapers refusing to carry the story. Hey God. Folks, we are into something that is very difficult to fight, including our very friends. They are betraying us. But you know what? We serve a living God. And I always said this. If some of you don't know what got us to where we are, I always depend on the blessing of my parents. Once one day I have not let my parents to cry on my name, I will never be disgraced on earth. And so you can go fight, you can do all the things you can do, but the blessing of my parents will not remain and I get disgraced. You can go fight, you can go do whatsoever you want to do. You think you're journalist. Do you have the voice that we do in this country? Then let's go into it. Go talk about me. And you see who they listen to mostly in this country. That's being wicked, Emmanuel. It kills anyone. We are all media colleagues now. You see our colleagues, nobody won't do anything. They don't want to do anything. Okay, my colleague Obed Sebastian Jiba wants to participate. And let me say this for, okay, he left the line. Let me say this again for the sake of the public. HARFM, Obed Sebastian Jiba, along with Patrick Eastman from HARFM, they did well for us. We want to say thank you. We're very humble. And we also want to say thank you to Kelvin Demi that stood with us and continue to stand with us. We want to say thank you. You've done extremely well for us. Obed, you want to participate, right?
Yeah, basically, I would like to say good evening to you, Sekou, and the rest of our team. Good evening to Emmanuel as well.
Okay.
I'm following the show.
Obed, before you go ahead, please, I want to use this time on behalf of Voice of Liberia Management. We want to say thank you to you and your institution, along with Patrick Eastman, for giving us the opportunity that many other journalists couldn't do. We want to say thank you to you. We're very humble for what you did for us and continue to do.
All right. You know, the fatality were in the media, specifically we've built up a team, irrespective of whatever, to be there for each other. And of course, not when you're in the wrong, we back you though, no. But this time around, we saw everything clear. We are young professional journalists who, at any given point in time will pick up some of those hidden issues, specifically in the interest of the Liberian people. Then talk less of our own. We need to be there. And so when I follow up on everything, I knew that the disadvantage most of these Lebanese boys and Indian boys come and take against the lay Liberians or struggling Liberians, it is sometimes worthless. They do them intentionally because they feel that the Liberian people hasn't been able to stand up to them, irrespective of the millions they make from here and take it back to Lebanon and enrich themselves and our family. So we follow up and we committed ourselves that Ali will not go unpunished according to the laws of our country. So I saw that particular letter of apology today, you read it, and of course we follow up just as the lawyer said. Voice of Liberia lawyer, Ali needs to do a rating bond.
Yes,
that will be
commitment
as a guarantee. That is his collateral for him saying he remains harmless and he wants to make a friendship by not doing anything to you. He's not harmless. He was intentional.
Yes.
He was not emotional when he said that. His donation was intentional.
Yes.
He meant to say what he said. He issued a threatening words because that's how he usually carry out some of his behavior. The guy is rude, and obviously he will always threaten people and go scot-free.
Yeah.
He moves with gun.
Yes.
He has flasher on his car. He is not someone to play with. He is not harmless, as he said in his communication. So we want a guarantee, which is a valid bond to be attached to his letter of apology. Then we can know that, okay, the life of Sekou Sherry is not in danger again, as what he said. So anything happening in life, mysteriously, then we know that it comes from that particular direction.
So
And so this is for
us Liberians. It is a journalist, but it's for us Liberians. So that in our own country, we cannot be threatened by these people. At the end of the day, they sit and laugh and say, we'll use the Liberian people. So I just want to say, yes, we'll commit ourselves. We'll be there. We'll ensure that we continue advocating for the right, irrespective of whosoever. It could be a layman from Bapolu or from Cape Mount. We will do the same.
So,
now it is our fraternity brother in the media. We have to stand up to these issues.
Thank you very much, Obed. Indeed, you want to bring tears to my eyes, but I want to say thank you, Obed. We're very humble.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Obed, you know, no matter what the issues are, we're continuing to remain focused to tell you what we're going through. Some of you will not know. Many days we don't sleep to our own homes. Let me say this to you tonight. Many days we don't sleep to our own homes because of what we say on the radio. Many days. And since the time this man threatened, and we did our background investigation to know if whether the man has the capacity, and we discovered that he has the capacity, we've not slept to our own homes. Every time we need to leave and constrain ourselves just to inform the Liberian people. Obed, I want to use this time to say thank you, my brother. I want to say thank you to Patrick, and I want to say thank you to the to Hard FM management. I want to say thank you to Kelvin Demi, and I want to say thank you to Prime FM for standing by us. I want to say thank you to Blamo from Bana FM. I want to say thank you to all the newspapers. I want to say thank you to Liberians that came out in their numbers. But I can say to you that we will be the last journalist for or Lebanese or anyone to think they would threaten and let it go. And we demand that the Press Union of Liberia stand with us. Other than standing with us, we and the Press Union of Liberia will come in the public. Other than standing with us, we and the Press Union of Liberia will come in the public. 0770907907907 0880907907. The numbers, we take few of your calls. Now, we will not accept any apology. We need a commitment bond. Hello?
Sekou.
Good evening.
Good evening. This is Amadou Masekwe. And I speak to you from the vicinity of Fall River.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You know, there's a virus that has crept into the society, and that virus is called schizophrenia. And it's spreading to all government sector as well as the foreign base, present in this country. And the reason why they're giving more momentum and strength over the citizens, as that Ali guy said, they have bought the government, the government is in their pocket. Look, what this guy is doing, he can't even dream about it in the Ivory Coast, in Ghana. Can't dream about it. But because the doors of Liberia is wide open, so his schizophrenia is everywhere, in the sector. But I can say to this guy tonight, let him be aware. Let him be aware that you got followers, you got silent listeners. And some of us are ex-veteran background. If he is not careful, in fact, I apologize. I don't want you to accept that apology. And if I see that guy face to face,
no, don't do anything. No. I beg you.
I want to give this guy 24 latches.
No, I beg you. I beg you. Don't do that.
24 latches.
I beg you.
And I'm happy.
I beg you.
I'm pissed off, man.
I beg you.
Sorry, Chief.
I beg you. Yes, good evening.
Mama, this is Smith. What's up, brother?
Go ahead, Chief. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying. Sekou, I just tuned in, but something I want to find out. Since the incident occurred that you talk about for the past week, has there been any release from the Press Union of Liberia?
Nothing yet.
Okay. That means the Press Union is
no, they didn't want went and investigated. We explained everything they found the man guilty, and then the man said he want to apologize. But then later on, our lawyer told the president of Press Union that even though the man will apologize, but we need a commitment bond. But today we did not see that commitment born.
Yeah, the reason that at least there should be a statement, at least a statement, coming from that body. Are you not a member of the PUL?
I'm a member. And not just a member, but senior member.
Because I can remember the last time when you were on Freedom FM, I heard you talking about suspending your membership.
Hey, lead that man. We together. We together.
Oh. Yeah, but then I mean, the president, your organization, the organization that you are part of, that means it's a worthless organization.
If I don't do that,
please. Something happens to a member, then they cannot come out to even issue a statement. If something happened to you tomorrow before they can say, oh, Sekou Sherry, he was one of the best journalists. I think it's wrong, Sekou. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We take another person here. Good evening.
You can call our press.
Yeah, good evening.
I'll officially respond to him later on.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello? Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Emmanuel Kwayo. I'm calling from Duazon. This is my second time calling on the issue.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Sekou, the Lawani guys that you're talking about, I know all of the Lawani men from Davana. Nobody in the country is wicked than Lawani men. I've lived there before. I know how they can treat black people. That story we're talking, so what our people playing with, if we're in Lawani, you and myself not even living. When you see how the people speaking our sisters and brothers over there, you will not believe it. But I told Emmanuel on the last night, that Kobasi, whoever had the terrorist issue it. But if anything happens to Sekou, I'm not saying before, I told you, I want to hear you on the radio, but I'm not saying you say to people, you are Liberian. If anything happens to Sekou, all the Liberian people will provide with the same day. And I say it again, I follow it. You can do all of it, follow again. But as you explained, let him go to the court. We respect the law. We can't say because we are disrespecting the law here, so we should follow suit. We went through our team. All the economic situation that we're going through, like Longime, there's a Longime had a store on Broad Street, or a Ronald Street called Dira. The coin that you see today, all of Liberia is all Longime that taken from here to Amos Fire Town. I'll meet with you one day. I got more records on Longime.
Okay.
Yes, I got record on Longime, and I provide it. Most of our government officials will be in trouble. But we are quiet some of the things because we know the war set us back. We are trying to make sure our children will not face the situation of pass through.
Okay.
And those Longime men will not see because he thinks that we are quiet so they can even do what they did during the wartime. No, Sekou, that thing was born in my blood.
Yeah.
I heard in the radio they measure Sherry got it 1 year. I said, hey God, tell me what's the matter? You go pick up one day and start here and lay on process that the many proceed so. But let's leave it because we don't want to bring problem in our country. The peace what they have in Lawana, that no peace there, no country in that village is not like that peace. Lawana, I was there, told the people, I said there will be no peace in the country on the judgment they come because you're wicked here. That's what we told them.
Okay.
It's happening there.
Okay. Thank you.
Peace following, there will be no peace in Lawana on the judgment camp.
No.
We're not threatening. Thank you. We
can't
threaten. We can't threaten. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, Sekou Sherry.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the topic honor discussion this great evening. By the way, introduction, I'm Efanso A.S. Kamal, calling for District 10 to be precise, Transformer Community. You see, when we speak about bad governance system, for 1822 to present,
Mami, let's speak to them, man. Let's speak to them, man. Issue you do.
Hello?
Yeah, let's speak to them, man. Issue you did to us. And we should not.
Yeah. This government does not care for the citizens of this country. Anything go on, they don't speak about it. They don't speak about the aid in the society. Can you tell me? Look at the kind of thing that going on in our country. Where are we heading to? Where are we heading to? Who is Lebanese man to have authority over Liberian men that move with selling, move with firearm in this country? It's so bad. It's so frustrating. It's so bad that the kind of government we voted for, we stood in a jar, doing things and
you, my brother. Thank you. We'll take another person. More Liberians are speaking. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you. This is a good one. I'm calling from Pagi.
Okay, go ahead.
Nimse, the only thing I get okay is now get depend on call because all the people for me are only believe the call for me because if you see up all the foreigner come for their country and tell to your citizen, they pay or they do anything they can do because they get money, they can influence our government. Otherwise, different for the day. I think someone drama or social media. I think that Ghana or whichever country the minister is shut you over the Indian investor. So what that will happen. So they go here. We got to be our gatekeeper. So thank you for the time. Let's be done the government. Let's just go for us. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. We'll take a few more calls.
Yeah,
Good evening.
I don't know that the network. So my message to all Nigerians, I urge all Nigerians to be calm in making a decision this coming October 10. Because the government does not listen to people. The government who can listen at all. The only solution is we give them our contract, the social agreement. The social is going to enlarge. Let them pressure that politically, democratically, 2023 October 10. Period to that.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, Sekou.
Good evening, you're live.
My name is Boaka B. Kumar, and I joined the conversation from my core resident.
Go ahead, Boaka.
I'd like to ask a question before I make my point, Sekou.
Go ahead.
The messages you read from Kobasi, he sent you those messages before the peaceful march or after the march, he sent those messages.
And in fact, let me just answer that question. Sekou have been receiving several messages from Mr. Kobasi before the match. Even after the match, he continued to send most of those messages.
Okay. Then it shows that he just wrote that letter of apology to be a mere communication, but he's not serious about it because in the first place, when it comes to apology, a rational person, no one will tell you, say you need to apologize, right? Within yourself, you know you have done wrong to someone, your conscience will not set you free. Yourself within yourself, you will say, no, but I have to apologize. But in the midst of writing letter of apology, then he's sending all kinds of messages. It shows that he just making mockery out of Brother Sekou. And this is not only Sekou. This is why I and other people continue to say, you guys should fight the case to the end so it can serve as a deterrent. Because we can't allow foreigners to come in our country. They continue to take our resources, but they see us as a mere human being. That's not supposed to happen. We are Liberians. This is the only country that we can be deported from. For them to say if we can rally around our government, we can get rid of them, we deport them back to their country. But for us, God forbid we commit a crime in this country, they will get punished, or after the punishment, we remain in the country, we don't have nowhere to go. And this is where they're getting all of their riches from. So they need to respect us. We don't want their money, but we should be respected as Liberians. So I'd like to conclude by calling on the regulatory authority, the Liberian National Police, the legislature. Remember, we are in election here. We are watching. We will see what they will do. And attempt to just compromise this, we will bang our anger on at the battle, but we are very clear about it. No one should protect any peaceful Liberian and go in impunity. I rest my case.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sekou.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Emmanuel Cooper. I call from Benstar, Palanville. Yeah, with regards to the issue, really, as the previous caller just said, we need to galvanize our forces. You see, I told you earlier last week on the air that Liberia has been the country where the Lebanese guy killed a small boy in Camp Johnson Road for killing it. And the government at that time made away with the guy to leave this country. The Lebanese people, they are not good. These Arab people. So government, citizens are supposed to be able to stand up for their rights. So at this time, we really got to take keen attention. Watch the process. When the process cannot hold legally, we do it like what the people did 3 or 4 years ago in South Africa, the xenophobia. We got the forces, we got the strength, we got the capacity. We've been through 14 years of bloody war. We are very brave. Nobody should try us in this country. When are you gone? But the forces, the masses, will stand up for the rights of the Liberian people's life against a Lebanese or Indian or whatever people they are. We got to teach them lesson. There's a new generation, Sekou. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
My blood ready boiling, man. I really want to get it, man, some latches. 24 latches. My blood boiling.
We have the laws.
Yeah, but I don't even know. I just want to be able to see that, man. I will spring on in the floor. And then the government can hold me and do what they want to do. The idea the record will be there. That I'm flocking to it for what's this?
Thank you so much. Please rest your case. Good evening. Go ahead.
How are you? This is Maurice speaking, Master.
Go ahead, Mr. Master.
One agent at that time for secure Liberia Kapau.
Okay.
From District 17 Pura N.
Go ahead, Chief.
You see, I listen to what all you saying. The Lebanese men, but I don't blame the Lebanese men then. You know who I blame? The police. Because you the citizen for this country, you're not allowed to carry arms. Then Lebanese men, they're carrying arms with seven.
It's alleged.
So I look at this country, I think we have to come back to our traditional. Like Kenya, and there was a time the Mao society got down in Kenya. They don't want to see no white man, and now they left.
No,
so
we cannot do that. We cannot do that one. We have to coexist.
Yeah, but sometimes violence or violence. Fire pull on fire.
No,
so,
sometimes, not all of the times. Gone are those days, bro.
With me, Sekou, we will have to find a solution to this problem.
Legal solution.
After legal solution, another solution will be found. Thank you.
Thank you. We will not support anyone doing anything violent. Hello.
Good evening, Sekou. Good evening to you, man.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
I'm Lawrence Spencer. I'm with Johnson.
Oh, Mr. Spencer, thanks for joining the conversation.
Thank you. And, no, Sekou, sometimes when we call and we want to bring in the government, we don't know that discuss, the people who discussing. I'm not the government, the team who discusses like separating the water from the rock. Right? So it's difficult, my friend. Let's be honest. I mean, if you go to Ghana today, the reason the Lebanese men will not be brave to threaten a genuine, a bona fide citizen of our country like you. The others, because the system is then put in place by the government of Ghana. Not anybody, not a private citizen. So sometimes we want to bring in, that's the angle of which we will bring the government.
Okay.
The other day we have to come up with sort of directly with you to make our plan known that your life is at risk. Went to LMB, went to legislature, all of places. Says that they will have been intervention or say, I don't know, I said you update us. What have been to say, oh yeah, this daughter is one of us. We may not like all of what he says on the radio.
Lawrence, maybe you weren't listening from the beginning of the show. We informed the public that there was a call placed to us by a lawmaker, but then we were in the process. Lawrence, your background is a little noisy.
Oh, sorry. Let me walk away.
Yes.
Am I better now?
Okay, much better. By then, we were at the headquarters of the Press Union of Liberia, so we missed that call. Later on, when we returned the call, we were told that on Thursday, hopefully, our case will be placed on the agenda for discussion at the legislature. That's the lower house.
Thank you. So you see, I mean, Gunther, I'm very glad that it's happening. Because whether you like it or not, I mean, you are a Liberian citizen. You may not like all of what you say, right? Some of us, we follow your show, we follow the special activities because you favor you favor us. Sometimes you bombard the opposition community, you bombard Mr. Cummings.
Okay.
But when it comes to your life, when it comes to any citizen of this country's life, you come first. Politics will come later. So, I mean, I want to appreciate at least the legislature for taking on our stand. We now give us some guarantee that at least it's already coming on our aid to rescue a lot of ours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, for calling. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is DJ Lomez.
DJ Lomez,
let me
please
get
go
me
ahead.
some clarity.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's an old age problem. They're not only just young government before when people start treating people like this.
No.
Or the illness. They think it's an old age problem.
Absolutely.
But at least somebody should bring it to an end. Even if you can't bring it to an end, but let be some precedent set. Then they will know that if you do this thing in your law, so and so, by law, now and I like the way how you're telling the show, nobody is solving, nobody is attack them, because anything happens, they will say, yeah, that's taking them, send the people to us.
Of course.
Or that's taking this and that, yeah, they will use it.
It is good that our show is recorded, so we have the record of the show.
Thank you for that, and I hope all Nigerians let us wait. Thank God our Lord because are there in position of this difficult situation, and thank God that people to listen to the lawyers, because everyone on your own they say when somebody warns you, when they ask you that your child will go to, when all of you will have legal institution, anyone on you can be harmed by these people. So by the grace of God, nothing will happen, and let us government take a court and let it pay for what they have done. I apologize my apologies especially for me. I stand with people and stand with all of you that were there because God and protect us. Thank you for the show.
Thank you, DJ Lomax. Always. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Smith.
Okay.
And I'm phoning from this state.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
You know, listening to you and I heard you talking about the lawmakers getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so you don't waste your time. Don't waste your
Emmanuel,
time.
let's wait and see.
For me, once it comes to the lawmakers, look, I don't want to even.
We still have Emmanuel. Let me say something. We still have good people at the legislature. In as much as we criticize some of them, but we still believe that there are people there with good characters and they will do something in this case.
I agree. Okay. There are some good lawmakers.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. But the bad ones are in the majority. And you know that play where majority can always take precedence. So when you get very bad people somewhere and you get still good people somewhere, who you expect to get voice? That is bad people always get voice. Someone here you telling them the lawmakers call you. Look, that thing, look, just be on chocolate, be careful. Move in a way that that your level that be at risk. Okay. So let me tell you something, Sekou. Mm-hmm. Another thing here is this, Sekou, in your own thinking, right? The man who is in charge of building the Fokekon Church and the 47 condominium, you think that man will be afraid of anybody in the country? Aren't you aware that Ali Kubasi BMC is the one that built that place? Aren't you aware of that? You expect that kind of man to be afraid of people? That man can never be afraid of anybody. That's it. They just say to the president, play that you say, and the people can make a statement and look, that's just something. I don't want to take that even this serious. Because for the fact that the man is carrying on all the projects and for the president and some high profile men in government, including Nathaniel McGill, my brother, like I said the last time on your show, you just have to be careful. Because these people, they are powerful people. At the end of the day, nothing will come out of that thing. Nothing.
Thank you.
So just take my advice and just be careful with yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, Emmanuel. Good evening.
Hello, my brother.
Hello, sir. You are live.
Okay. Thank you so much for your show. Okay. This is Dwayne Emmanuel Omika Kriya, Governor of Grand Chile.
Okay.
The past one also. I've been listening to your show, but thank you so much. You know what? Why you say my blood boiling? Let me be bold to say this, okay? We lived in the poor country before. I lived in Asia. I lived in the Middle East, and I know how to behave, okay?
Okay.
So why you say they have laws? There are laws. Your law in Liberia not shows the do God's law. You saw what happened to the two Liberians? I think the two Liberians in South Korea. They listen to your government. You have law, one of those people. The people laws are very strong. They don't play with their citizens.
Okay.
For people in Liberia to get leave on, set it bread in Lamano. on the street, and they come to Liberia, take loan from something like banking Liberia to put their money. They take that money, give it loan, they say give it to them as loan. They want Liberia go there, they refuse. And at the end of the day, when they go ground, they start to misbehave. You are treating people like you are treating cow. The way they can treat those camels in their home.
No.
That's what treat them. No, my thing like that, it means that you're killed there or do what, but you're making it sense into their head. And, you know?
Okay,
the people get serious problem. They have law, but I get nothing called law. Them people say there is no law in this country.
We have some of the best. We have some of the best laws, but to have them implemented, well, is the problem. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. This is Emmanuel P. Smith, and I join you from Chickasaw Factory Golf Community.
Go ahead, Ime.
Yes, my brother, these are the legal situations I kept feeding back over and over, because we don't need foreigners to come into this country to start acting like we are slaves to them. They can do anything to us at any time and go without anything happening to them. And let the government of the Republic of Liberia know that that situation that they are going, the lower house is going to go discuss. Let them discuss it lengthily. Let them make decisions into it, and let this man make a bond. Because some of us, we are personal persons to Sekou Sherry. We know what he has done for us. And despite everything that have been happening, well, you know, they got a saying. They say you can keep eating others people, but one day you can eat your own baby and the bone can choke you. And these are some of the things that are going on. But let them be careful. This is Liberia. There is no Liberian will be deported from Liberia. We can only be punished if we are here reliable of certain things. But if the Indians and the Lebanese, they feel that Liberians are slave to them, they want to do anything to them, they can do it at any time. We will stay back and be waiting from the result that will come out after the lower house has discussed it. If they go to court, any other result, I will be part and parcel of the Vanguard force to stay and move whatsoever.
No, we don't have any Vanguard force. Thank you so much thank you for your contribution. What's getting me tongue twisted? Sorry, we are not doing anything of such. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
This is Wilfred, and I join you from EWA.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say sorry to Sekou. If I don't know whether I know Kobasi or Kopasi, I don't care to know. But if you listen to the program, let you very listen. If the Christian child for a family, every family get their own Christian child. If you see say you want to be disgruntled, stay in your country and do it. But not yet. If the carrier will make you to know, will give you demarcation. If you listen to me, will give you demarcation to say that we don't want own the country. If you get contact with government officials, our level, your business, like your own money is spending. But if you see say you can't to threaten or what or peaceful threatening for this country and you are foreigner, it will not work. Your business you can't do. Please do your business peacefully. All of that you put your business in problem. Thank you.
Hello, no threatening remarks.
Yeah, good evening, Sekou Sherry once again. This is Mo and Faso AS Kamara again.
Go ahead.
This government, my brother.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. You are live.
My name is Mohammed Keita.
Go ahead, Mr. Keita.
I'm calling you for Sunday second.
Okay, sir.
You remember way back, one Lebanese man came, a gentleman called Barry, and nothing came all of it. Charles Williams from Pasa, his son went also and killed another Lebanese man in Bon County, Palala, and they put that man in jail, and the man died in jail. The Lebanese people, they feed the Liberian people in their pocket. So I think what we can do is to make sure to post up political nonsense. It's not the right thing to do. We should not just be talking on the radio like this and that. We have to find solution to it.
All right.
It's inside a long time. I live in Lebanon. I live with Arab people. I speak Arabic very well. And even when I was working to JFK, the Lebanese people used to come there and they do any kind of thing they want to do. So we got to post up to it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Another caller on the line. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, your name?
Yeah, okay. I just want to tell you that this thing, what we feel, sometimes you will be afraid like a radio station, but they're telling you about the Liberian government. 2020, we have a white team in Dwayson here. I was telling the white team. There's a guy who fired me with, they call him OT. One OT fired me with 5 millimeter pistol rounds, 5 fired me with 5. And if he fired me on the wall to him, I reached there, I called Central. And one guy came to our place and fired me at us. Police came, we surrounded the house. Until the next morning, they came, they were carrying, you know what the guy said? I work in the NSA. Anytime I come around here and I see you on the street, I will fight, I will kill anybody I want to kill. And when I got to the police station, I told the police guys that, okay, they asked me whether I want to go to here and say, no, I want to go to court. But the only thing I will resolve the problem is that the American part of my house with all the cars left on, when you fire, you will see a body in the car. That the only time the police were concerned to go into that case. In fact, one family friend said that the police people that went for the man, they were the same people that were begging me to leave him. I'm saying he's surely gone in the air. He fired, I write him out, I said something now. He leave firing between my back and I reached to him. So if it depends on police to solve the problem for you, the only way the problem will be solved is we Liberian people to tell the Lebanese guys that.
Okay. We lost our caller. 0770-907-907. 0770-907-907. Good evening.
Hello, Secretary.
Please walk away from your monitor.
Thank you. Am I okay?
Much better. Go ahead.
You know, I'm very sorry to be hearing the thing on the Lebanese, even in Liberia. Common business, Guinea, Ghana, Sierra Leone. Lebanese making own business if the citizen now heading the business. The only Liberia will see they are looking so king and queen. But in those other African countries, Lebanese making own business on your own. And say, pass through the citizen of that country. Why Liberia should be like this?
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. You're live.
Yes, good evening, Sigu.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel Cho, calling from Buchanan City. Thank you so much for the topic. You see, we do not have red in Liberia. One time I went in Moro to raise his feet to our local party. Someone who was passing, the hello placard that meant that insulting us. So we have no red in our own country. In other countries, you can red to be any citizen. You can red to put in jail for our own. Papa, we die for nothing yet. So there's no law in Liberia. Thank you, Papa. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes, good.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, okay. I'm calling from Bannersville. I'm Sadia.
Go ahead.
My brothers, God is with you. And the God that you serve is greater than this government. So there is no way that individual was letting you and do something with you and go free. I can see another war coming in Liberia because of him. And whosoever that he's depending on to say he will do something and go scot-free because he got big hands behind him, they're the one will be the one to lose. Because at the end of the day, we will march on them and do whatsoever we want to do.
Let's use
will not be afraid, and he don't have power.
Let's
whatsoever he's depending on is powerless.
Let's use
So
the
that he
laws.
just be pouring and just be making muff and saying things, and he feel that he can do anything he want to do. The way he got a life that so abusive, he abused male, he abused females, he feel that he can kill people and go scot free. That he last for stuff.
Thank you so much. But yes, we have laws in Liberia, so let's use the laws, Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm constrained to call again because I'm getting feedback from the call the people are making, right? We are supporting you guys in the cause. Legally, you continue to make up to feel discouraged. This thing call for practical action. You cannot trespass the current government into such an issue. We need, my man, listen to me, Sekou.
No, Chief.
We are living in a new dispensation. This is not the old time. We got history about it. These people choking and lay ball, top of time for Kenny.
No,
and they have done
no,
this thing
Chief.
several times. So there should be a practical action. You don't have to joke about it. Maybe they give some of your money now, so you want to compromise the matter. Whatever legal activity you have to do.
No,
Okay,
Chief.
okay.
Thank you so much. Nothing practical we can do beyond using the legal means. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Thomas Freeman. I'm calling from Caldwell.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, you see, the Lebanese have forgotten what happened in Kenya, the Mau Mau. We can grab the busy out of the country. They ain't doing shit besides exploiting oil.
No,
Excuse my
please don't.
expression.
Yeah, don't use the Sunday school language,
Yeah,
please.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah.
kids listening to the radio.
Sorry, but yeah, sorry. But these guys, they are treating us bad in our own country. Okay? So, I mean, if they keep on doing it, they will reach a breaking point where people will be forced to drive them out of the country. Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Sekou.
Yes, you are live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to throw light on the bad behavior of the Lebanese people. This is not a very first. First of all, I'm calling from Riverside. I'm Che.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to throw a little light on the people bad behavior, bad party in the country. They have been existing for a very long time. I was with the case of Edward Berry, he was a junior student at the University of Liberia in 1979. And Lebanese food, he was a store. Remember, he said go to the university at that time. And Lebanese people accused him, he was working in the store within the accused him that he took a paper mechanic and put him up. In the warehouse, so the three Lebanese brothers, they jumped on him, they choke him until he died. When he died, that case went to court, the university went a mark. The kid went to Kupu, expected to get better result in government Liberia at that time. They said that was manslaughter. So it was not a murder. While the kid was still pending and the Lebanese boy in jail. I was working around that time at a hotel. I just see overnight, I see the Lebanese boy coming. Coming the kid was government official. The night they came, they slept in the hotel, Robbie Hotel, they put in the money. 8 o'clock when MEA was picking up, the MEA slept in the base that time. And the boy, they went, 90 count today. They went to about regime. So, the Lebanese man can be brazen. When they ask you what you say, oh man, I will take you to the court. Say, your government in my pocket. Your government in my pocket. This is not the first time. So, I think I'm going to move and do something. We got this dispensation. Somebody just said. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope to address that later on. Good evening.
My dear brother, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
This is Marie calling from Broadway.
Okay, go ahead.
Sekou, the last time I told you, Allah is with you. Allah is the one who gives you your life. That is the one that will take your life.
Okay.
No man will kill you. Ali see to himself that maybe he been doing things to other people and then going cause free. But he didn't really know who he was playing with. Because if only if he knew, he was not going to tell you what he told you. But Sekou, when somebody tell you, say, I will do this thing to you, and they come on and say, oh, I was just joking, I will play tough, and I'll play tough. We're not leaving nothing. Ali will stand for your life until your day can come on this earth before Ali will be free. But Ali will stand for your life in this country and he will make you the trauma you are going through. Ali will make sure that trauma you will be free from it. But standing in that court, he will not go cost free and we will not accept the apology for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Yeah, brother Chibuku.
Good evening. Go ahead. Thank you for joining us. We're fine.
Let me tell you one thing. As my brother said from the initial stage, and the second man came up, the Mao society. Some of us we migrated from different countries and we came here to find our daily bread, and we all are black. In there, we have to find solution to these people. They will be at their horses. They start getting lost one. The Mao society. They will come here, but they will not come as Mao.
No. Okay, let me say something because I'm getting to understand that the discussion is going somehow different now. Well, what we told you from the very, very opening of this show, we told you that we received a communication from our lawyer, and then we have been advised by him to go beyond this communication. I know almost all of you listening, you've been following this development between Mr. Ali Kobasi, the Chief Executive Officer of Building Materials Center, BMC, on Capitol Bypass here in Central Monrovia. Well, Ali threatened to, using the F word with Sharif, with my colleague. So he has officially apologized. Well, before his apology came in, we've taken several steps. We petitioned the Liberia National Police. We petitioned the legislature, particularly the lower house, that is the House of Representatives. So we know for a fact that there are constituted authorities who are clothed with the responsibility to look into matters of such, or to prosecute cases, or to call for hearings like the lower house. So we know that these people, we trust their ability. We know that they will help to find an amicable solution to this matter. And what we are saying is we need a commitment bond. A commitment bond beyond this letter. And let me just read. The letter is a short one. Let me read for all of us. Building Materials Center, General Merchandise, Capitol Bypass, Post Office Box, Monrovia, Liberia, telephone numbers, and email. And this letter is dated 21 February 2023. That's on today. Ali Kobasi, Chief Executive Officer, CEO, Building Materials Center, BMC, Capitol Bypass, Monrovia, Liberia. Reference, letter of apology. Dear journalist Sekou Sharif, kindly accept my compliments and best wishes. I write to apologize for the threat, and he put in parentheses, I will blame with you. Yeah, we can see that other one. Used against you during you and I conversation on the phone. By saying I will do that to you in our conversation, I did not mean harm, or I did not mean I will harm you. I am a peaceful citizen and a friend to the Liberian media. As such, I cannot do any harm to anyone. It is unfortunate that I threatened you. I was just emotional and again apologize for the harsh exchange. Trust me, I cannot do any harm to anyone. I will even like to use your media platform or radio to apologize if the opportunity is given me. Meanwhile, I want to assure you, journalist Sekou Sharif, that I will not interfere in your journalistic work by intervening or speaking on behalf of anyone when being investigated by you, journalist Sekou Sharif of Voice of Liberia 104.1. I look forward to a good and friendly working relationship. Best regards. The stem is here. Ali Kobasi, CEO, Building Materials Center. So immediately we received this letter, we decided to consult our legal team. And you listen to one of the legal representatives of this institution, Voice of Liberia, cautioning us to go beyond this. Instead of just accepting a mere apology letter, let us request from him a commitment bond. Now, these are all legal processes. Going to the police is legal. Going to the legislature is also legal. So we understand the fact that there are laws in Liberia. Instead of us using other means which are not permissible under the jurisprudence of our country, we might just be, doing the very wrong things. We might be spoiling our own case. We might even be the ones at the end of the day either apologizing to Ali and his other people. So please, we are cautioning all of our supporters. I know how hard you've been hit or hurt. I know how you feel. But let's maintain the space. Let's give a space to the legal process for it to end. You see, I can recall we all were here in 2017. 2017, we went to our general elections. Some parties felt cheated. They thought that the right things did not take place. Well, they reserved the choice to have taken the other side that some of you want to take. But no, because they had Liberia at the back of their minds, they decided to use the legal system. So this is the same thing we are doing. We don't want for anyone in the first place to rain insults on Mr. Kobasi. We respect him. Though he doesn't in any way respect us, though he doesn't in any way regard us, but we want to respect him and accord him all of the opportunities under the laws of Liberia, legally provided for under the laws of Liberia. So please, nobody should go at his place, as popular as his place is. Nobody should go there to say anything, neither to do anything contrary. Okay? Like one of the callers was saying, hey, man, you're not receiving any, come on. We don't do that. We don't do that. Okay? Trust some of us. My name is Emmanuel, man. I'm a human being too. I get my own issues, but my record in the media from different media institutions, folks that have been following, they know some of us characters, okay? That's what we stand for a cause. So let's take a few more calls before going home. The news team will come up at 9 o'clock to continue with other programs, including the
I'm making threat. And if anything happened to that man, don't worry. Now everybody that cry for you are with you. There are some enemy could use that to go to that man, and that man could say, it is Sekou people that did this to me because they threat are here on the air.
And we are
So
urging
also for you,
everyone. That's why this show is live. It is recorded. We urging every one of our supporters not to do anything contrary to the laws.
The best you can do, as far as you are going, once in a while you come up, you tell how far you are going, but pause it. Don't discuss it because people will make certain remarks and they are then making certain remarks as well.
Okay.
So two wrong cannot make a right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Father of Liberia.
Yes,
My
sir.
name is Harris E. Flona. Please extend my greeting to Sheku. Sheku is a friend of mine. Here I play football together at Kayama Refugee Camp in Sierra Leone. And I really beg, take the issue can with those people. Yeah, I like the way we are addressing the issue. Please.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will take 2-3 more calls and then call it a day. 0770907907. 0770907907. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Good evening, sir.
This is Clear Lomo calling from Shopfront Town, Rabafi Highway.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, Sekou, it's like we have the more opportunity given to, to those people in this country, and most often when there is issue, we have to go to court. They always saying that the government is in their pocket. So because of this, they just, threatening peaceful citizens, especially going to the media. But thank you, you and your entire team. I love the way you put taking the issue, because we are not all for war, So I may say thank you for the program, and thank you the way which of course you bear the pains and you are going through it and bringing it to the Liberian people to see what is happening.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling as well. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, sir. You're live.
Yes, my name is CMT again. I call you from Tony Studio, Nico.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, so let me just say sorry for what actually happened, and everyone knows that the Lawali people, they are ruthless set of people. Everyone knows that for the genesis of this country, and what actually giving these people the urge to behave the way they behave is our own government officials. Most of our government officials sell themselves to the people, and as such, you have them do anything they want to do. Even our Liberians that work with these people in the various places, store homes and things, that are ill-treated. And I think the law of this country needs to provide some coverage for our people working with foreigners. Because if it is not so, you have more of this happening every time. But as it stands, I listen to the communication that they wrote carefully. I think you people are in a right trajectory, and you can just take it further and show that they are pressed more, so that thing will not be recorded. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much as well for your piece of advice. I will take my final caller to go home. Good evening.
Yeah, how are you, brother?
We're fine, thank you. Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Go ahead. You are live.
Yeah, okay. I'm a man about women.
Go ahead.
You see, brother, I just want to tell you about the Lawani people. Can you imagine the way our people used to do things? They will sell their cocoa, their canna, take the money and deposit with them for material. I went and paid for 5 bundles of zinc. And if the money spent 2 years with him, I have a material where I got a receipt. But when the zinc price raised up, when I went to get my zinc from the Lorani man, and the zinc, he got it in stock. We tell me, say the zinc out there, I will leave from Banga, I go to Monroe, I can't get my zinc. On 3 different occasions, when I go there, he pick up insult at me. The police commander at the time to the depot in real life, and we had police commander, 5 of such kind, he Lorani man would not perform like this. That man have to close down the depot and walk to the store when he went there. He had a zinc packing in the main storage. Why he insulting me from Banga to Monroe every time? You have to close that area so I can get that far bundle of zinc and demand him to pay my way everything before I can go to Banga. So the men there, they saying the government in their pocket, it is a fight. Only few sincere Liberians that are in the security apparatus that are standing for their citizens. So, like the last the court said, sure, we don't get people to share for us, sending money in people's pocket and liberating when they go to it, they say, we bear, you see me? That one we bring it, we just turn it, they forget it, they will pay some money, that thing they doing that, nothing to them. Then my already that call authority, that what we do, we forget about government and they are allowing people.
Okay, sir, thank you for calling. Well, we will stop it right here. Time to go home now on this segment of the program. Many thanks for always making it your business to join us here at Voice of Liberia 104.1. Let's wait and see. Let's remain law-abiding because Liberia is the only place we have. Please, don't go to Ali Kobasi place. Do not insult him. Do not threaten him because we are we're taking advantage of the legal process. My name is Emmanuel Davis. On behalf of the entire team, I want to wish you a very, very good night. The news is up next.
Voice of Liberia,
your power station.
If it's mellow, reggae, raga, R&B, all these bulk goodies, religious, Afro, hip-hop, trap-core, country, western, etc. Listen to Voice of Liberia. Get the best. Forget the rest. If it's mellow, reggae, raga, R&B, all these bulk goodies, religious, Afro, hip-hop, trap, country, western, etc. Listen to Voice of Liberia. Get the best. Forget the rest.
Touching the issues following the president. Voice of Liberia. This is Abraham Parker.
From Tanzania, this is Saidi Lombano reporting for Voice of Liberia.
Reporting for the Voice of Liberia from Grand-Bassa County, my name is Senpipo Ines.
From the chambers of the House of Representatives, this is Gibson G for Voice of Liberia in Monrovia.
I am Amadou Kante from the Gambia, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
For Voice of Liberia. Following the President, Voice of Liberia, this is Abraham Parker.
From Tanzania, this is Saidu Lombano, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
From Nigeria, I am Naomi Kongbenda, reporting for the Voice of Liberia.
From the chambers of the House of Representatives, this is Gibson G for Voice of Liberia in Monrovia.
I am Amadou Kante from the Gambia, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
For Voice of Liberia from Babulu County, my name is Samuel King.
From the Law House, where cases are heard at the Temple of Justice, I'm Lorena Kohler, reporting for Voice of Liberia News.
I'm Apostle Rick Shavo, reporting for Voice of Liberia from Mozambique.
I'm Ruben Guan Jr. for Voice of Liberia, Upper Nimba County.
From Brussels, I am Beatrice Rios, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
This is Obi Smith, Voice of Liberia, Bone County.
Harris Gwilin, Voice of Liberia News.
Reporting for Voice of Liberia from Sierra Leone, I am John Whitfield.
Within the Liberian Senate, Masolian family, VOL News.
Tea House in War for Voice of Liberia in Lower Magibi County.
I am Theogen Chiza, reporting from Rwanda for Voice of Liberia.
My name is Ploko Mokhele and I'm reporting for Voice of Liberia from Maseru, Lesotho.
Famata Duncan, Voice of Liberia News.
From Granku County, I'm Christopher Kuman, Voice of Liberia News.
Reporting for Voice of Liberia from Ghana, I am Jonas Biarubi.
I'm Ivani Kamal, reporting from Maryland County for Voice of Liberia.
Mafida Kamara, VOL News.
Reporting from Uganda for Voice of Liberia, this is Bayola Moses Mwonge.
From Upper Mangibi County, reporting for Voice of Liberia, I'm Reche Khan.
For Voice of Liberia, I'm Oliver Nzala, reporting from Zambia.
For Voice of Liberia in Sando County, this is Bwaka Kamara.
Issues following the President, Voice of Liberia, this is Abraham Parker.
From Tanzania, this is Saidu Lombano, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
From Nigeria, I am Naomi Kongbenda, reporting for the Voice of Liberia.
From the chambers of the House of Representatives, this is Gibson G for Voice of Liberia in Monrovia.
I am Amadou Kante from the Gambia, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
For Voice of Liberia from Babulu County, my name is Samuel King.
From the Law House, where cases are heard at the Temple of Justice, I'm Lorena Kohler, reporting for Voice of Liberia News.
I'm Apostle Rick Shavo, reporting for Voice of Liberia from Mozambique.
I'm Ruben Guan Jr. for Voice of Liberia, Upper Nimba County.
From Brussels, I am Beatrice Rios, reporting for Voice of Liberia.
This is Obi Smith, Voice of Liberia, Bone County.
Harris Gwilin, Voice of Liberia News.
Reporting for Voice of Liberia from Sierra Leone, I am John Whitfield.
Within the Liberian Senate, Masolian family, VOL News.
Tea House in War for Voice of Liberia in Lower Magibi County.
I am Theogen Chiza, reporting from Rwanda for Voice of Liberia.
My name is Ploko Mokhele and I'm reporting for Voice of Liberia from Maseru, Lesotho.
Famata Duncan, Voice of Liberia News.
From Granku County, I'm Christopher Kuman, Voice of Liberia News.
Reporting for Voice of Liberia from Ghana, I am Jonas Biarubi.
I'm Ivani Kamal, reporting from Maryland County for Voice of Liberia.
Mafida Kamara, VOL News.
Reporting from Uganda for Voice of Liberia, this is Bayola Moses Mwonge.
From Upper Mangibi County, reporting for Voice of Liberia, I'm Reche Khan.
For Voice of Liberia, I'm Oliver Nzala, reporting from Zambia.
For Voice of Liberia in Sano County, this is Bwaka Kamara.
Masole Famole, VOA News.
Tea House in War for Voice of Liberia in Lower Mangibi County.
I am Theogene Chiza reporting from Rwanda for Voice of Liberia.
Good evening and welcome to News Round on the Voice of Liberia from the nation's capital, Monrovia. I'm Famata Duncan with the news. In the headlines, House passes 2023 draft national budget with additional increment of $579,682 of the version submitted by the executive. Liberia National Police investigate 36 suspected criminals for alleged commission of aggravated burglary in Lower Mangibi County. Two heads of states representing Tanzania and Zambia agreed to upgrade an over 5-decade-old oil pipeline which the two countries shared. And Liberia's head of state, President George Weah, calls on lawmakers to review the chapter of the intergovernmental organization United Nations Alliance for Sustainable Development Goals. Welcome and thanks for being there. Members of the House of Representatives on Tuesday, February 21, 2023, passed the draft national budget for 2023 in the tune of $794,532,682, a $16,579,682 million increase of the version submitted by the executive. The draft revenue envelope for fiscal year 2023 was submitted by the executive branch of government to the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning at $777,975,000 to the legislature for examination. Meanwhile, our legislative reporter said the House took the decision based on the recommendations of its Committee on Ways, Means, Finance contained in a report submitted and read in plenary on Tuesday. The lawmakers passed the budget with priority in key areas such as the 2023 elections, public sector investment projects, health, education, security and rule of law, social development, among others. Meanwhile, following the reading, plenary voted to pass the draft budget of 2023 in totality and forwarded same to the Liberian Senate for concurrence in line with the laws of Liberia. Meanwhile, the passage of this year's budget has sparked out debates, with some lawmakers expressing disappointment. Representative Moema Briggs Mensah, in her reaction, said there was no due diligence in the interest of citizens of her district and the entire country.
The Ways and Means Committee is represented by 50 members of the House, and every county has a representation. I believe when the budget comes on the floor and is being read, not everything always captured. I've been one person that always been seeing that those representation on the budget should clearly come to the members and call out in them. As chair of the caucus, it's important that we know, wow, those things, how am I going to go tell the citizen what I voted for? Because I may say, yes, I saw this line there and maybe it was increased or it was being reduced. So it's important that I know, but that has not been happening. And I think plenary didn't see it necessary, but I think it's important for everyone else to push it going forward. The last budget year, we put $900,000 in the budget for Bone Technical College. So what I know some of those money, a little amount was being paid. So this budget year, we need to know what happening for them and how is it going to be transferred with the one that was being paid and where are we? And even it come to carry, we've been having staffers been demonstrating, and all of those issues is important to our county to know that we can go back to them and say, okay, your money has been, your salary has been restored because you've been having problem with your salary. And even the pronouncement that was made by the president that $6 million was going to be placed in the budget, we need to know if those things have been done. And so it have to be explained in details to the budget representation. Then, you know, when I did the unreadiness, and normally you are only recognized to do unreadiness one time. So afterwards, I remember these issues of Bonrai Health Center that we've been having in our county. And then I went to Honorable Kwale Atonya, I was done speaking, but it's important that you raise the issues. Let's look at it. So which he did. And I can tell you, Bonrai is in my district electorally. The Ways and Means Committee is represented by 50 members of the House, and every county has a representative. When the budget comes on the floor and is being
For Montserrat, the County District 3 Representative Rosalind Dennis, she wonders why the country's biggest instrument cannot be scrutinized to a logical conclusion before passage.
There's always a problem with the national budget since I got in the legislature. This book is a very important instrument, and I think it's one of the biggest instruments here in the legislature. It should be analyzed, it should be debated, it should be discussed, and everybody witness the line ministries, the agencies, the grants, the subsidies. It has always been our contention that we need ample time to analyze the national budget. It is with great disappointment that the budget will get before the House through its relevant committee. The same day it appears before the House, the same day the budget will be passed. Recognizing disparities and stuff like that. There's no opportunity to get your budget analysis or report to the Ways and Means Committee because they are on expenditure, they are on revenue. And as soon as Ways and Means gets through expenditure and revenue, it hits the floor and then subsequent passage. So in this budget, like readiness, the Minister of Education budget was something that it was alarming in this document. You have been receiving 1.5 million in the Office of Minister, and then all of a sudden. So it would have been a typographical error because that cannot be an actual figure. So and that's the reason that we look through the budget. You can come from 1.5 million per year, then the election year, you see 8 to 7 million. So that's really alarming. So however it was adjusted and they say it was done. And there are more errors in the budget, like we talk about budget performance report, we talk about the budget auditing, we talk about the fiscal deficiency report, and those are reports that the Committee of Ways, Means and Finance, they did not make available for the period of 6 years. There's always
The heads of states of Tanzania and Zambia have agreed on the need to fast-track the upgrading of an over 5-decade-old oil pipeline which the countries share. The more than 1,000-kilometer Tanzanian-Zambia Mufata pipeline has been running since 1968 and transports more than 1 million tons of crude oil per year from the port of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania to the city of Ndola in Zambia. Seth Luambano is Voice of Liberia correspondent from Tanzania with this report.
Something which is very great and attractive to the people of Tanzania and Zambia through this project, but I can say that in a statement on his official Facebook page, Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema said he met with Tanzanian counterpart Samia Suluhu Hassan on the sideline of the 36th ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with the pipeline at the top of the meeting's agenda. And he said that their meeting with our Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan was centered on the strengthening bilateral relationship in the area of the trade facilitation and the energy investment between our two countries. So top of the agenda was Tazama project. Say this and adding that the objective of rehabilitate the pipelines and its auxiliary systems. So this was raised by these leaders about the project. One of the big agenda and discussion about this is how does Tanzania and Zambia going to be benefit from this. So it's raised some critics to those progressive stakeholders. But the pipeline remains a critical asset because Zambia, the country, does not produce a crude of its own, and instead depending on imports from Europe and the Middle East via the port of Dar es Salaam. But making this clear in a separate post, her official Facebook page, President Samia Suluhu Hassan announced that the bilateral meeting that our country was keen in ensuring that the project was realized for mutual benefit of the two nations. So the people should be calm and wait. The big profit will come soon.
President George Weah is calling on the legislature to review the chapter of the intergovernmental organization United Nations Alliance for Sustainable Development Goals. This chapter establishes the Intergovernmental Organization of the United Nations Alliance for Sustainable Development Goals. Lorena Cole has been reading through the President's communication to that August body and now reports.
Calling the Liberian leader asserted that the association's mission is to promote sustainable ecological development projects in the fields of health, innovative technologies, energy, sports, education, and culture. The aim of the organization is to carry out the intended promotion and support activities and to establish and develop with the help of the intended institutions, as well as a worldwide network and independent regional representations in order to ensure smooth operations and direct interferences and administrative procedures for members and affiliated structures at national and international levels. The Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The 17 SDGs are integrated. They recognize that action in one area would affect outcomes in others, and that development must balance social, economic, and environmentally sustainability. Countries have committed to prioritize progress for those who are further behind. The SDGs are designed to end poverty, hunger, AIDS, and discrimination against women and girls. The creativity, know-how, technology, and financial resources from all of society is necessary to achieve the SDGs in every context. Hence, the need for the legislature to act on the President's communication should not be overemphasized. Meanwhile, following the reading of the President's communication, plenary voted to mandate its committees to review the communication and revert to plenary on the way forward. For Voice of Liberia News, I'm Lorena Cole.
The Liberia National Police is investigating 36 suspected criminals for alleged commission of burglaries in Lower Margibi County. Voice of Liberia Lower Margibi County correspondent has the rest of the story.
Calling to the Liberia National Police, about 36 persons are currently undergoing investigations at the Rabos International Airport Police Detachment. The Cotton Tree community is among many communities that are being terrorized by the criminal gangs, especially during night hours. The increase of criminal activities in the area is alarming, and as such, the Liberia National Police launched a nighttime patrol in the community, arresting dozens of people believed to be criminals. The LMP also lauded the efforts of the vigilante team known as Kapau Kapau for assisting the Liberia National Police for the arrest of those criminals. The Kapau Kapau Watch team and its operation in Cotton Tree is to provide security at night, thereby assisting the LMP in tracking down hardcore criminals. The group and its operation captured communities such as Cotton Tree, Dolotan, Unification Time, among others areas in District 2 Magibi County. Reporting for Voice of Liberia in Lower Magibi, I'm Housing War.
Well, if you are just joining us, be reminded that you are listening to News Round on the Voice of Liberia from the nation's capital, Monrovia, and these are stories we are following on this news presentation. Liberia's head of state, President George Weah, calls on lawmakers to review the chapter of the intergovernmental organization United Nations Alliance for Sustainable Development Goals. Liberian National Police investigate 36 suspected criminals for alleged commission of aggravated burglary in Lower Margibi County. Two heads of states representing Tanzania and Zambia agreed to upgrade an over 5-decade-old oil pipeline which the two countries share. And House passes 2023 draft national budget for additional increment of US $16 million. $579,682 of the version submitted by the executive. Welcome back. The ECOWAS Court of Justice has held a hearing on the merits of a case filed 5 years ago after 2 Ebola survivors and the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law filed a lawsuit against the government of Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leonean government since then had failed to adhere to respond to the issues raised by the 2 Ebola survivors as well as civil society body and requested for yet another adjournment, but the court noted that the hearing was long overdue and that it needed to make progress in the matter. To get more details about the outcome of the merits of the matter and judgment arrived at, let's join the Voice of Liberia Sierra Leone's correspondent, John Woodview, for the details.
So in 2014-2015, we all know that Sierra Leone, like other African countries, and few of them were plagued with the Ebola. And in Sierra Leone, lives were lost as well. So, but when the virus was put to an end between 2015, 2016 to 2017, there were certain amenities that we had to be given to Ebola survivors because some of them were suffering from post-traumatic disorder. Some of them had health issues and the likes. So monies that came in for them from international bodies were supposed to be given to be taking care of them. Now, some of them could not read and write and could not represent themselves.
Okay.
So because those goodies were not given to them, those who can read and write and those who went to meet humanitarian organizations had to take the government to court 5 years back to see how best government could give them what they needed. But unfortunately, government had failed to respond, and that is why they had to go back to the ECOWAS court to see how best they could go to the hearing of the merits. So the counsel for the plaintiffs, who is Oludayo Fagbemi, is a senior legal officer at the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa. He argued that had Sierra Leone used the monies properly, they would have been used for the welfare of Ebola survival. One of the arguments he put forward is that had the missing $14 million and this was captured in Sierra Leone's audit report then, he argued that had that money not been missing, government would have used it appropriately. He said because of the mismanagement of available Ebola response resources, it resulted in more infections and the loss of more lives. And also the council also noted that 8 years since the virus was put to an end, the Sierra Leone government is yet to prosecute anyone for theft or even mismanagement of the missing funds.
John Woodfield is Voice of Liberia correspondent from Sierra Leone. Members of the Liberian Senate were seen engaging in heated debate on what should be considered pension or retirement benefits upon leaving office. The senators are having such a debate at the time Liberians are poised to either re-elect or replace some legislators in the ensuing 2023 presidential and legislative elections. The debate on Tuesday followed a report submitted to plenary by the Senate's Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petition chaired by Grand Kipman County Senator Vanin Sherman. The debate intensified, especially when some senators were concerned about how they will be treated in terms of benefits in a case when they are no longer in public service. Some believe that a lawmaker is voted out based on how the electorate examine his or her legislative workings, stressing that it is not considered an honorable retirement for which benefits should be given. On the issue of pensions, some senators have read that a legislator should be entitled to his or her pension benefits if such lawmaker was making a contribution to the National Social Security Corporation while in service. Here is how the senators on Capitol Hill debated the issue.
The legislature, what constitutes honorable retirement, is by a means of employment by books. We go back every time to our employers. When they bring us back here, it means they evaluated us. They are okay with us and will come back. If they don't elect us by their own reasoning, they retire you or they sack you. They honorable? They sack you, say honorable?
Yeah, they're sacking for many reasons. They are sacking for many reasons. They're not sacking.
You sell your thing. So that the question is asking. Under the national law, my understanding of retirement is when you reach 60 years or 65 years, whether you like your academic kid, or whether you like it or not, when you reach 60 or 65 years, you are retired.
From that you pay into, from which you withdraw when you retire. When you retire. So you got the pool of funds, which is the pension, and then from that pension fund, when you retire, it is drawn from there.
So, Senator, what a natural people told me, you must reach 60 years before you retire. You must. Whether you for the 7 years you be paid, you can't benefit until you get to 60. Before you qualify, yeah. I think so. Yeah. That
is pension, not retirement. That is pension. I did that. That is pension, not retirement. That is pension.
Meanwhile, the president pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Abochie, again mandated committee to report to plenary in the period of 1 week. Gambia's Ministry of Justice on Monday, in a statement, condemned the leader of Gambia's main opposition party. Comments on the recent commission instituted by President Adama Barrow to look into the council's activities as inaccurate and illogical. While responding to the UDP leader, the Justice Ministry also indicates that Dr. Dabo's inaccurate and illogical statements are a distortion of facts which signals a new law in the political discourse with an attempt to score cheap political points at the expense of truth and political decency. The information of the Commission of Inquiry to scrutinize the local council's activities has generated divergent reactions among the Gambians home and abroad. Here is Voice of Liberia correspondent from Banjul, Amadou Kante, explaining more.
I want to believe that the Gambia's Minister of Justice came up with this statement for the simple fact that there has been a lot of talks in relation to the commission that has been instituted by the government. And it might interest you to know, and the listeners of Voice of Liberia, that prior to the establishment of this commission by the president, the UDP leader had warned the president that any attempt to, come up with such a commission or any commission could be resisted by his party, because most of these councils have been manned by members of the UDP. So I think the ministry, as the legal component of the government felt it might be important to give a response to the UDP leader. And before the ministry did, it was the President Barrow's political party who forced out over the weekend also to condemn Dabo's comment, but equally some of the allegations that he incident on the NDP. And I think the counterattacks with the government and the country's main opposition party, that is the United Democratic Party, on the leadership of Osheno Dabo, has been happening for the simple fact that it's just barely a few months before the upcoming local government elections. And again, both parties are very much adamant and ready to go into these elections on a very strong note, or footing rather. And they have both, informed Gambians of their eager to, either maintain or, get a hand on these local government councils. So the tensions has been somehow high between the two parties. Mm-hmm. So I think this has been more or less the main reason why we have been seeing allegations against counter allegations and attacks between the two sides, that is the president's party or the government itself and the UDP. So I think the political tension is growing here between the two sides.
Amadou Kante is Voice of Liberia correspondent from Gambia. The University of Liberia Faculty Association has frowned on the Ministry of Education for suspending recent decisions taken by the National Commission of Higher Education. Recently, the Director General of the National Commission of Higher Education, Dr. Edward Lama Wonkaya, reminded higher education institutions in Liberia through a statement about the requirement for President and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Wonkaya mandated the President and VPAA of all higher learning institutions to post an earned academic doctorate or philosophy degrees as part of one of the criteria set in the education policy. But in response to the government's decision through Minister Ansu Sonin, the University of Liberia Faculty Association termed the MOE's action as an attempt to derail the progress made in the pursuit of higher quality education in Liberia. In response, in a press release signed by its Secretary General Eric Patton on Tuesday, ULFA also deemed it as being unfriendly to knowledge transfer at institutions of higher learning to compete with their peers in sub-region. Lesotho's King Majesty Leslie III will host a high-level event on nutrition and food security in March this year. The King, who is also the head of state, is the African Union Nutrition Champion. Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Relations Principal Secretary said in a saving room that about 6 heads of states and government and other renowned people in the region and beyond were expected to attend the event. The event is part of the long-term vision set out in Agenda 2063. Here is Voice of Liberia Lesotho correspondent Poloko Wakale with the details.
Especially Africa will be discussed at that summit. So a lot of discussions will be around nutrition in Africa.
Well, is this the first high-level event on food security and nutrition in Africa hosted by Lesotho?
No, this is not the first high-level summit that is being hosted in Lesotho. In 2019, the king, in his capacity as from 26, then he was the nutrition champion. He also hosted high delegates from different international organizations discussing nutrition and agriculture. It depends in the district or counties. What in counties in Lesotho? So most of the areas are in the areas. So what is actually depends family. What I can tell you that we are living in a very difficult country where most people are living below the poverty line. So it is not that good.
The presidential aide has sharply responded to numerous criticism from the opposition community, most especially the latest from Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate against the WIA-led government. Sekou Kalasko assumed that Sheikh Kouyate's continuing criticism is as a result of the Liberian leader's alleged refusal to give him job after so many conversations with him. The presidential aide termed Sheikh's constant criticism as unrealistic and only intended to please his personal benefits.
Today I'm going to say this. It's unfortunate for a man who endlessly went to my house to beg me to tell the president to send me as an ambassador in one of the Arab countries. On countless occasions went to my house across inviting, sat down with me in my living room to beg George Weah to make him ambassador in one of these Arab countries. As a man who believes in helping people in government today, I've managed to help a lot of people that are serving their country. So my response to Sheikh, of course, you are a brother. You are a brother. As a young Madingo man who's in the president's office, I can pass through him, to seek the audience of the president. I have held President Weah phone on countless occasions, and Sheikh Kouyaté.
Meanwhile, responding to the accusation, Sheikh Kouyaté said President George Weah has time without numbers, offered him traveling opportunities as well as providing him a job, but he refused.
Why this court has not been established is because of a new struggle that has been introduced in Liberia. The struggle between autocracy and democracy. In a democratic country, the president should have a limitation, his power cannot supersede the power of the legislature. The presidency cannot supersede the power of the judiciary. But today, under the new struggle, the presidency supersedes the legislature. The presidency supersedes the judiciary. That is why today you realize that even one of the associate justices who was not a friend to the presidency was impeached from his position, and that during the impeachment program, process, the legislature, the judiciary were all part of it, and it showed that person was removed. The very prescription.
Well, on that note, that's how we come to an end of News Round on the Voice of Liberia. But before we leave you, here are stories we followed. House passes 2023 draft national budget with additional increment of $579,682 of the version submitted by the executive. Liberia National Police investigate 36 suspected criminals for alleged commission of aggravated burglary in Lower Makibi County. Two heads of states representing Tanzania and Zambia agreed to upgrade an over 5-decade-old pipeline which the two countries share. And Liberia's heads of state, President George Weah, calls on lawmakers to review the chapter of the intergovernmental organization United Nations Alliance for Sustainable Development Goals. For more news, log on to www.voiceofliberiaonline.com or follow us on Facebook with keywords Voice of Liberia. I'm Famata Duncan. Good evening.
.104.1
Voice of Liberia,
your power station.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecellliberia.com. Email us at info@telecellliberia.com. Telecell Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecell Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to impress.
When business looks good, prices become stable. Are you a business owner, seller, or buyer? Commodity Index gives the opportunity to citizens to be abreast of happenings in our business community. Tune in to Voice of Liberia every Tuesday from 2:15 to 3 p.m. for the program Commodity Index with your hosts, Lorena Kole and Mafila Kamara. Don't miss it.
Kick up the poor man for fire. I want to love you for life.
I said settle plus life equal what? Settle line. For Life Zoe, Liberia West and Best Satellite Training Program presents a new training year. For Life Zoe, the real back for training school now. The people say they get foreign teacher coming from abroad to teach us. They get teacher they coming from Ghana, from Nigeria, South Africa, and America, US of A. And that's good news. Listen to me and listen well. The people say engineering courses offering number one. They'll be offering advanced satellite dish networking, CCTV networking, solar panel installation, 3D explosive flow making, biogas engineering. The one that you can turn people into God. That one of my course right there. All that just engineering. The one that when you get small like you can separate 148.9 apartment only. That was never fall. You will learn website design and graphic design, computer hardware and software, sound engineering, learning how to create your own music beat. Just keyboard, bass guitar, solo guitar, and saxophone, advanced video editing, cake decoration, interior decoration, ice cream making. I'm gonna get one sugar again and job school for just small like you money, like $75. And you're not getting a horse on the far out. They say you'll give up by installment. It's small. Imagine small you need me like me learning how to drive whole car. You will be learning on new car, brand new one, not old car. When you poke inside and love you, you poke it again, love you. The car that they post say you'll be learning on, and they tell you touch it when they kill you. You qualify. If you've been partying on suffering for septic, maybe a bit smelly, they can get food. For that Zoe say you won't worry no more. The people can do it, they can make sure the bow that just your septic for 3 days. Only 3 days. And how much so much the people charge you? Like that small like kicking in money, and you can use to buy beer for your side check. And when the people bow that just your septic for you, they fix it for you. Listen now, see they can't believe it, they can't wait. The people say it can only occupy small like kicking in leg. That means less space. The people say it can be pure instrument and all. I won't put away and won't put again. They can never get full. Environmentally friendly. It means not be smelling people know. You are the one not going to put code. They dissolve West easily. And the thing for the come up boom. They say, they make a dissolve. No power odor. It can last for 35 years. So rush now to get your separate blow. When we are about that justice system, I'm talking that nobody even get one conscience to say, oh, in your mouth. All the family is talking about Life Zoe. Where can I locate them? Or where can I find them? I beg you, for life lost. Listen well. If you want to pick up the phone, in order for you to be part of this professional training program, you can see the office of Jacob Town, New Hope for Life office. The 12th Street, Tottenham Gate, adjacent the Lucky Town Cinema, Carwell, before the bridge, Snapper Hill, ABC